well, one of these times we gotta be the good luck charm. We're just gonna hop on really quickly, watch the end of this game. You guys are not here and don't know the score. You're on some other planet. 26-21, 33 seconds left. Miller Moss Trojans have the ball on the 14-yard line. 33 seconds left. 2nd and 4. Get rid of the ball. All right. Couple options. I mean, LV, they can go to the side, pick up the first down, or if they got that shot in the end zone, I say you hit it. You take that shot in the end zone.
I mean, they're right there, Tim. They're right there. If you're a big time quarterback, like I said, you make this play, you get in the end zone.
Third and 4. It's going to get sketchy from 4th down, but yeah, this is the shot. They might be guarding the sticks right here. You might be able to sneak someone back there to the end zone, LV.
Mm-hmm. This is it sounds like deuce magic, right? That's what it sounds like to me. Or Jacoby Lane.
Looks like a screen to me.
Screen, I like that. Like that call. That's a good call too.
All right, now you got 4th and 4. That was a bad throw all around because he's going to get tackled. So they're going to move. They're going to stop the clock. Oh no, they wouldn't move the chains because they don't need chains. It's fourth. It's goal. 1st and goal.
Right. Still get.
Well, here's the game again. We've been here before. 4th and short.
You got to make a play.
We've seen this one a couple times this year, LV.
Right. You got to make a play here, man. You got.
Here's your game. Play. Fourth down. Oh, Miller. There's your game again.
Yeah.
Well, it's official. So USC loses 26-21. When is USC going to win one of these games? This is becoming a theme with USC. Road game losses, heartbreaking losses with opportunities. USC had the opportunity. They had the ball inside the 5-yard line, could not punch it in. Looked like some miscommunication up front. Let that safety come right through there on 4th down. Blew up the play before it even gets started. Well, we're here like we are. Win or lose, we will be here with you guys for at least the next hour. We're going to get some phone calls in here. The number is 888-997-4539. I'm going to turn that on in a minute. But first, I want to invite, thank you so much. LV Live is here. Filling in right now for Preston. Preston will be joining us from the game. But I wanted someone to come and enjoy this happiness, LV, because they're going to be coming at us right now. So get ready, get your work boots on, because this is definitely going to be one heck of a therapy session. LV, let them know where they can find you before we get started, though.
Oh, everyone can find me on YouTube, LV Live. As you see the background here, I'm also from the East Coast, so fight on from the East Coast. Do a lot of Knicks and Giants stuff. Of course, my Yanks lost to those Dodgers. I salute you, Tim. Big win for you guys. But that's where I could be found at, man. So you guys come through, subscribe to my channel. But I'm a Trojan on the East Coast, man. So, yeah, let's get right to it, Tim.
All right, so I'm opening the phone lines up right now. Again, the number 888-99 Riley, 888-997-4539. I know that we're going to have some angry callers, so go ahead and give us a call. The phone line is officially opened. We're going to be here for the next hour. But the Trojans, again, find a way to lose a close game on the road in the Big Ten. It just seems like they cannot buy a road win in the Big Ten, LV. In each of these games, they have a lead in the 4th quarter. This slips away. And I'm beginning to wonder, I really am. I'm beginning to wonder if this team has a roadmap to win these close games. So we'll be trying to go down the stats, going through everything up to you guys the next hour or so on our post-game show. But again, as always, this is your guys' show. So we'll go ahead and open up to you guys. Phone lines are open, 888-997-4539. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Are you there?
Good evening, caller. What's my name? It's Avery. Hey, what's up, LV? You say you're an East Coast Trojan. I'm a down Trojan. But I'm on the East Coast, calling from Hagerstown. How we doing? What's going on?
Avery, I'm worried about you. You sound way too freaking happy after watching this game. But what's your take on the game, Eve?
I mean, I've been telling you, hey, statistics say that we are one of the lowest rated teams running the ball on the road, and it took to the second half for Lincoln Riley to realize that he needs to play USC football and run the football. Oh my God! Imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah, it was another brutal loss. We were wondering when the running game would get started. Early in the game, they weren't running the ball enough, but they also weren't really capitalizing when they were running. They were averaging about 2 yards a carry. But, sometimes you got to warm that thing up. You got to make your runs, and get moving. It just seemed like really it's not just a run game of choices. Yet again, they have a sluggish start. I mean, you come out. I looked at my notes. I mean, you come out and you go 3 and out. So you start the game with 3 and out. Then you throw an interception, right? Oh, no, I can't remember. Missed a field goal and then throw an interception. That's your first three. That's your first 3 drives of the game, LV. Is that how do you win doing that on the road every single time?
Yeah, I think preparation is the key, right? So, you got to start with the head man with that. That's just what it comes down to. But I do not think this is a Lincoln Riley problem. I don't. I know a lot of people in the chat, they're going to be upset about that. Of course, you're getting a whole bunch of Riley slander, but the more I've watched this team week after week after week, the more I'm starting to see, he's trying to keep this together with Scotch tape. I mentioned that to you earlier, Tim. And so with the slow starts, he's putting out a game plan. Guys have to execute. Yes, I feel like he should have ran the ball more. I think he should have, but guys got to execute. And I think in the first half, you just saw, he was trying to get a feel for what they were doing defensively, but it was a tale of 2 halves, because once he went back in the second half, he started scheming some things. Then you saw Lincoln Riley. So I think that's what it came down to. But listen, guys, he's trying to keep things together with this roster, man. This is not the roster he started off the year with. This isn't. So, you got to kind of pay attention to that. He's trying to do the best he can with a lot of guys that are second string and third string guys.
Now, here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. This is not, again, it was a pass in year 1. There was a pass in year 2. In year 3, your roster needs to be at least, I mean, look at Jed Fish. Jed Fish just walked in who had no roster. Do you know what I mean? And he's making this happen with coaching. I get what you're saying. I think overall, I would like to see him a little more running earlier in the game, but the run wasn't working. I mean, it wasn't. But you got to make that thing, you have to massage that thing in, Avery. You have to have a situation where Lincoln Riley commits to running the ball. Because if you're going to be a running team, you have to commit to running it. And once it got going, they did a great job, because this offensive line was actually giving them a lot, a lot of protection. They weren't bringing a lot, really. They were dropping a lot of guys. This is the passing. They wanted SC to throw the ball. SC had to run them out of that defense, and they didn't. Avery, you there?
I mean, I'm just listening. What else is new from anybody that comes up under the air raid tree, where the possibility is they rush me, drop A, or they want to be shown that you're going to run the ball committedly and run the defense. I mean, you just said it. I mean, what else is new? We've been saying this for how many years?
Yeah,
we know this.
Yeah. And so, Avery, any final takes, Avery?
You're not gonna want to hear me say this, but I don't think he's the guy.
What's that?
I don't think he's the guy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I had some doubts coming into this game, but I mean, little doubts, right? But every time I see a game like this where the team just does not perform, USC had a number of chances in the second half. They came out like gangbusters and really took over the game in the third quarter. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better defensive stand. The defense was, shaking their heads going, what else do you guys want us to do for you in the second half? And the offense from the very beginning of this game was just clunky, and then when they are moving, they got moving in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. And it was just a shame to see them come up with no points really at the end of the previous drive, at the end of the game. It just seems like there doesn't seem, LB, like there's a lot of confidence. I mean, I think Miller Moss as a quarterback, guys, here's what I'm saying. Miller Moss is not the same quarterback. Talk about like having missing guys on the roster. Miller Moss is not the same dude. This guy got knocked around right after he got hit really hard. He threw that ball, like you said, right into the defensive end's lap. Lucky that didn't drop and turn it 27-7 early on in the game. Yeah, Miller Moss, this defense has let him get the crap beat out of him. He had time to throw today. But I'm not sure if he's the same quarterback we saw. His confidence seems like it's busted, and with him, it seems like the offense is busted.
Well,
all right. Hey, listen, thank you, Avery, so much.
Can I say this before I go?
Sure.
You know why his confidence isn't there? And I'm a fan, and you're my guy. Dude, we had 1,000 yards with Curtis McNeil and Javaris Buck Allen. Why aren't we on pace for 1,000 yards with Woody Marks? And we know the limitations that we have with Miller Morris on the offensive line. This is Lincoln, man. And yeah, fight on. I'm just end on that.
Yeah, fight on, Avery. Not many positive things we could say out of that gut-wrenching loss. There's a little blip of life there on the road, and then just faded. But this is one more time. It just seems like the fourth time on the road where this team just needed to step up and do something, and they didn't. It's becoming a pattern that they cannot win close games on the road.
Well, let me say this to you, Tim, and to everyone out there. When you're on the road, that's when your star players step up, not your role players. Your role players don't play well on the road. That's the star players' job. They've lost, I don't know how many games now. I want to say, all right, there are 5 losses. You want to say 4? I want to say, let's say all 5 of them, right, have been close losses. They haven't gotten blown out of one game. One game. They've been close. They're either driving or they're right there.
But they're not finishing.
You know why they're not finishing, Tim? You can't turn a ball over, man.
Yeah.
And think how many games we would have won and it wouldn't have been turnovers. It's one, and this is where I'm sorry, it may sound like a broken record, but I gotta kind of use the Raleigh line and say we're 1 or 2 plays away. And the reason why that makes sense, because guys, how many times are we in games? I'm speaking of Penn State, I'm speaking of Michigan, I'm speaking of all the top games where the game is right there to be won, and we turn the ball over. Tonight, we should have been up 28-20. We turn the ball over. So that's the ball game. When you sit back and you rewatch all those games, because that's what I've done. I don't know if you guys do it, but I like to rewatch a game because I like to see it a day later just to kind of get a new set of eyes on it. And that's what's happening in these games. We're turning the ball over in crucial moments.
You can't turn the ball over on the road, LV. That's a rule of football. You're on the road, you have to take care of the ball. And you're right. One of those interceptions was not on Miller, but the other ones, those were on Miller. Those are throws he just can't make. He should have had 3, actually. He got a gift on that one. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Miller's broken. This team is broken, Miller. I mean, that's something that really I first heard from Gabe over at Trojan Blade. He's not the same quarterback anymore. He's lost that mojo. He had that mojo firing, but this offensive line let him get pasted enough that he just there's something there. There really is. And then so you're throwing up against a great passing defense on the road, and they know you have to throw, and it's raining, and it's windy, and your quarterback is just not what he's been. Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim, this is Alan from Hawaii. It's been a long time since I've called in.
I remember you. It has been all season, pretty much.
Yeah, when the time changed, I was stuck at work. I missed all the Friday call-in shows. But anyway, unfortunately, I think that we're just going to have to live with our growing pains because Alani Noah was so locked in on what his assignment was on that goal line run that he just completely, just like that guy that was right in front of him didn't exist. He's the guy that made the play. He was locked in on the double team, and he just didn't recognize the situation. And those are growing pains. He's going to learn from it, and that's all we can hope for on that. As far as play calling, the second half was great. Yeah, we'll have to give that. But first half, why do we have 40-something 2 passes and how many 8 runs or 9 runs or something like that? When Washington is known to be not very good against the run, why did why, we finally got in the second half, ram it down the throats. Here it is until you stop us. And then missed assignment and just one of those things again. So it's so painful to watch, these plays, single plays that determines the fate of our game. But this has been a season-long thing. I think it's just, I think Lincoln gets so wrapped up in his play calling that he doesn't pay attention to all the other stuff that's going on. He needs to have an OT, and so he can manage the whole team. He doesn't manage the team. All he manages is his play calling, and he's unfortunately leaving it up to his subordinates to do his job. And they're doing their own job, but I think he's unfortunately, yes, we have to live with growing pains all around. I think the best thing that Lincoln could do was say, "Hey, Pete, why don't you watch a couple games and tell me what I'm doing wrong, and listen to what he has to say."
Alan, really quick.
Pete's right there.
Alan,
yeah.
Listen. By the way, I am almost certain he's talking to Pete. You can almost guarantee it. And if he's not going to Pete, I guarantee you, I don't personally know Pete Carroll, but everything I know about Pete Carroll's probably walking into his office and talking to him. I mean, I'm telling you, those guys are talking. But here's my question for you, though, Alan. Didn't Riley put this team in a position to win the damn game again? So here's what I say before you answer. Okay, this isn't an open apology for Lincoln Riley. There were a number of massive mistakes made in this game, but here's what I'm going to come to. It was still another game, close game, where player makes a play, multiple plays on multiple opportunities. USC's walking out of Seattle with the win. So it's Riley and it's the players. I'm tired of giving one or the other a ride. Both of these groups, the coaching staff and the players, need to be accountable. Everyone wants it to be one thing. Replace this, replace that, get rid of him, get rid of that, do this, do that. It's not. There are issues. And the finger does point towards the coach. Because at the end of the day, really, all of that is under his auspices. So he has to take responsibility. But man, these players had chances to win this goddamn game. And they didn't. Again, think back to the Penn State game. Multiple opportunities to win that game. And they didn't. Think about the Michigan game, how that thing ended. Multiple chances. And they don't make the play. Listen, we need to figure it out. Also, we got to start looking at the players too. These players got to start making some plays. The coaches need to figure some stuff out.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else?
Are they not watching film? I mean, it seems like some of the
They are, Alan.
Some of the young guys, they're not. You wonder if they're learning from their mistakes, because that just pick out the one play at the goal line. I mean, it's just youth, inexperience. You can't really complain about that. There's nobody. I'm not saying anybody needs to be replaced.
You talked about Pete Carroll.
I just think this is
Alan. You talked about Pete Carroll. That team played with swag. That team played loose. That team played confident. They were amazing athletes. But they didn't play to lose. They didn't try to hold on to wins. They took it to you. And that's an attitude this team has and lacks. And it's not that, I won't use the word choke, but they've been clutching up a lot. They clutch up in that moment. Hey, listen, Alan, appreciate you calling in. We have like 14 people calling, so I got to move. But I appreciate you calling. It's good to hear from you in a long time. Hopefully next time we talk, one, it won't be so long, and two, it'll be after a win.
Real quickly, are you now on Thursdays?
No, that was a Dodger game. That's why we were ready to go, and we moved it every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 7 and 10 Eastern. Every Wednesday. Yep.
Okay, awesome.
All right, thank you, Alan.
I can make that. All right, thanks, Tim.
All
thanks,
right,
LV.
Aloha, Alan. Man, at least Alan gets to wake up tomorrow in Hawaii somewhere. Do you know what I mean? I'm not complaining where I am, but man, it'd be nice to be in Hawaii right now.
Agreed.
Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, caller, can you do me a favor? Just turn your TV down really fast, just really quick for me. Yeah, by the way, I'm trying to...
right quick.
Hang on one second. I'm trying to confirm this, but I'm looking at the... Did we really throw the ball 50 times tonight? I want to get confirmation on that.
Probably did.
Holy smokes. 50 times against that defense. We threw it 50 times, and we ran the ball. Let me double check. This isn't sack adjusted or anything, but looks like we ran the ball 29 times and threw it 50 times.
Yeah, 29
Amazing.
times.
Hi, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Hey, this is Music, man. How you doing?
Good. Music, how you, man?
I'm fine. I'm calling about Lincoln Riley again. I have to disagree with the other gentleman, LV, because this is a coaching problem. There's no way you're going to be on the goal line, 4 plays to go in, less than 10 yards, and not run the ball 4 times. Joyner, when we was in the game, he was getting positive yards. Why isn't Joyner lining up on the goal line, running the ball in for a touchdown? Woody Marks had a carry load today. He was doing his thing today. But Joyner on the goal line would have scored that touchdown. I've been saying, I've been calling in, just to say my 3rd time calling in. I've always told you it's a Lincoln Riley problem. It's not a player's problem and stuff like that. USC has talent.
Music.
It's a Lincoln Riley problem.
Music.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley is not fumbling, throwing interceptions, missing tackles, not calling it a line adjustment, right? Right on that 4th down. There were too many guys there to block, and they need either Miller or Monheim have to see that and make the call, because that was embarrassing what happened on 4th down.
Let me say this, Tim.
But they shouldn't have been in that situation.
All right, hold on.
Throw the ball on the second. Go ahead.
Agreed. By the way, agreed. Go ahead, LV.
Listen, those are valid points. Here's why it's not the coach. It's not the coach because the players play. The players play. They got to execute. Last year's offense, the problem was the defense. It wasn't the offense. They were one of the best offenses in the nation. They were scoring points with no problem. The year before that, it was the same thing. Lincoln Riley has never had an issue with scoring points. So now he comes to this year. How is it things are not working? You got to look at the personnel that he has. He has always had a top-tier quarterback, always. And so now you're seeing certain things kind of backpedal on certain. So, yes, he's not making adjustments. He's not doing this. But we can't sit here and act like he doesn't know what he's doing, or he doesn't, he's coaching. You got to execute with a guy like him. He's top tier when it comes to play calling, as far as guys, as far as stars and athletes. He knows the guys who should be out there doing it. He's doing it too long at a top tier level. But guys got to execute, man. If they can't execute, where is he going to pull from?
Okay, but I'm not saying I totally disagree with you, because I agree with most of that. But the point is, if you're a head coach and you don't have that, it's great. Hey, look, everyone's offense looks great. Caleb Williams back there, right? Baker Mayfield, your offense is going to look great. What do you do when you don't have a Baker? This was his chance to show his chops. And I get it, parts of the offensive line, but it's year 3. It's not year 1. I can't really kind of dance around it. It's to the point where the offensive line, Miller came into the season, he was firing. That guy is, again, Gabe's nailed it. That guy's broken, Music. And so what's the solution, Music, really quick? Because we got to move on.
Yeah, I know you do. But listen, I don't think he's broken. Like I said, again, it's just a play call. Again, the first half, he didn't run the ball at all. The second half, you run the ball, you get positive yards. I'm just going to go on this one, and I'm going to be through with this call. I'll call you next time. But on that play on the goal line, Riley said him running it, then passing, and trying to run it 2 times. He should just ran it 4 times.
I agree. So I lost it when he threw to Deuce Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah, because the receivers dropped the ball today. Kyle Ford had one, had a drop. Deuce Robinson had a drop. So, yeah, a little bit this goes on Miller Moss, but he did throw 2 touchdowns. But 1 touchdown today, that was a pretty ball to Mekhi Lemon. So, like I said, it's not him. It's Lincoln Riley's play calling when it comes down to crunch time. But I got one more thing to tell you. I'm going to get off the phone. Did you see Lane Kiffin today? I want Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin's never come back after what we did to that guy. And I don't blame him. The way he came in and did a great job in those sanctions, and he's a great coach. I'm telling you right now. Let's say make it really worth his while. The way they treated him, man. They
did him dirty, man.
Yeah. All right, listen. Thank you, Music.
But I think I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. We lost like 5 callers. We're gonna move a little faster than we normally do, you guys, because I'm sure a lot of people want to chime in. This is a night where a lot of people want to chime in, and so USC fans, I'll take a lot of it. But a couple of you guys out there trolling, and I know who you are. I literally know you guys. You better back it up a little bit. So I'm gonna tell you. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mr. Paulie Walnuts here from, let me just tell you right now, man, how you doing, gentlemen, tonight? It's been such a rough week for me, my beloved Yanks. got knocked out, and that just gave me such a blow to my stomach. I felt like I got punched. Now
you and I listen. You and I both, buddy. You and I both. You see who's behind me, right?
Yeah. Don't even get me started. And you know what? The reason I brought up my Yanks.
Okay, we got to move to the Dodgers, guys. I just looked at the Dodgers. Sorry, we got to move to SC. We got to talk SC, right?
No.
We're not talking there right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. But the similarities between Boone and Lincoln Riley, and that's what I'm getting at here.
Okay.
So, but first of all, I think what we're getting at here is the lack of consistency with this team, and obviously, I think a lot of that comes to our coaching staff having to prepare these guys the right way. But LV, I'm right along with you as well. These players need to execute. If you look at what Miller Moss has done now, he's completely regressed. He's throwing flat-footed, trying to fit throws in these tight windows, and he's picked up a lot of bad habits, and those bad habits are leading to some losses. And I'm not going to lie, it takes the wind out of us. It just hits us at the wrong times. He's throwing these picks, and the inconsistency with our coaching staff, with the play calling. You see that Joyner's running so hard and knocking helmets off of guys with that power. I don't know why they don't continue to use the 1-2 punch a little bit more consistently. And then on top of that, I think it's the way that they bring these different players into the game. There's a lot of them that come in and they don't get enough touches or balls thrown their way. And they're, it's just the same guys over and over again. I'd like to see them rotate a little bit more frequently and just kind of get more consistency throwing to him. But Miller's he's shot, man. He's not there anymore. And this is the first time we anointed him as the next guy. He's going to be the man. And I got to tell you, I'm frustrated because I'll tell you right now, I don't see that. This is his first year that we've seen him in action, and he's regressing and he's struggling. And honestly, I think it'd be nice to see him kind of take a step back and either. But then again, if Jaden was ready, they would have had him in there.
Yeah, that's
so
what
Riley's
I want.
in
Yeah,
a tough spot, and I don't know what to do.
Well, here's what's happening.
Yeah, but anyway, guys, let me. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, here's what's going on. DJ Lagway was who he wanted. You guys watched DJ Lagway play before he got hurt today?
Yes.
That was the dude that Lincoln Riley went after. He couldn't close the deal with it.
He wanted him, Tim, and also Tim. I'm gonna throw this in. I'm gonna let you finish, Tim. He also, remember, guys, he flew down to Kansas State to go try to get Will Howard, and that didn't work. Go on, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, so
but this is what I'm getting at here too. It's recruiting is really it's freaking me out a little bit because we got so much invested in Juju, and I think we kind of blew it with that because there's so many other guys that we've missed out on now. Now you got this guy here who Lincoln's all in, kind of like Will Howard and all those guys, and then Miller kind of threw a wrench into that. So I'm just afraid by us losing, everything's gonna kind of explode in our face, and that's what I'm worried about. But anyway, guys, I got to get going. I just can't even eat dinner tonight, man. I'm so disgusted with everything.
Right there with you, man.
My life right now when it comes to sports.
I couldn't eat anything at halftime.
Take care of yourself, hey Tim. I got nothing but love. For you, Tim. And hey, LV, this is the first time I've talked to you. Fight on, brother. And I'll find you on YouTube or somewhere, man. I really like your style. Take care, man.
Yeah, we're gonna do all right. We'll be okay in the end. But yeah, I hear you guys. Thank you, Paul, calling in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, there's something has to switch up here. We can sit here and talk about roster, like I was saying earlier season. We're running into teams like Maryland. We're running into teams like Minnesota. Jed Fish had to he brought some guys up, from Arizona. But come on, I mean, roster wise, we could only go so far with the excuses. And the coaching is coaching, and you coach who you have. We're always getting on the fact, we're all excited about the fact Lynn, he took what he has and he's put a defense together. Lincoln Riley has to take what he has in year 3, because he's been here 3 years, and make whatever he's done over 3 years. He's got to make that stuff happen, because, we did not give him all this money to score 21 points a game. That's not what's going on. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Sam Foreman from KU.
What's up, Sam?
Hey, Tim, I think we should have ran it 4 times. I agree with the caller before. We should have ran it 4 times.
Yep.
Because we were running it down their throats. And then we tried to throw it twice. That made no sense to me.
And one thing that I really wanted to see really quick, and I like Woody was awesome. But when it comes to, I mean, and there's one play where Woody got stood up right in the hole. Well, I mean, and right at the line, and he shoved it. I mean, he should have been stopped on 4th down. He picked that yard. But you know what? Quinton Joyner's a bigger dude, and maybe mix in 2 with Woody and then 2 with Quinton. But why did he? What was going on there? Let's give Quinton a chance early. One of those downs on 2nd down instead of throwing a deuce. Why don't we throw it? Why don't we let Quinton have a run right up the B gap, whatever, and just use that and power his way into the end zone? It was a bit weird that we threw the ball there.
Yeah, and why did Quinton not get the ball more? I mean, we were Woody. Quinton only got it like, how many times did he get it? Like,
well, Woody was running the ball pretty good, but Woody was running the ball pretty damn good. I mean, how do you take that guy? How do you take the guy off the field? I mean, he was like one of the leading receivers as well. How do you take that guy off the field? It's the hard part is you need to lean on Woody. My worry is about his durability, but he's shown he can be that, every down back, which he's been, for SC. But why not down to goal line? Why not use Joyner's, speed and power and just that combination to see what can punch through at the goal line?
Right, Tim. Why not have a heavy package on that? Why not a heavy package when you're right there on like third and 2 or 2nd and 2? Have a heavy package, right? Maybe bring in Brian Jackson, right? Brian Jackson, Quinton Joyner, right? Get heavy. We used to call it like a heavy set, right? And I don't know why he doesn't do
the
that.
quarterback sneak either, Tim.
Well, one thing about the quarterback, I agree with you there, but you go under center, and if you don't go under center all game, and then all of a sudden you go under center at the goal line, I've seen that happen. They go bad so many times in football. That's probably the reason, but I agree with you. It drives me crazy. I wish there was something there, but were you going to spend a bunch of time practicing your goal line under center stuff with snaps with your quarterback, or are you going to run your offense? So, I mean, there's all tons of questions, Sam. A great question. Great point. They absolutely should have ran that ball.
And on the last play, Mason Murphy got beat so badly. I mean, he got beat right off the line so badly that Moss couldn't do anything. I mean, people want to blame Moss, but I think it's an offensive line problem too.
Yeah, you remember that on the Hail Mary on the Hail Mary play earlier. You had the situation where they rushed 3 and they got home. That's not the first time this season where a team has rushed 3 and got home. You got 5 guys blocking 3. You should not have a free runner at your quarterback. I mean, how quickly they blew that play up. It's just really bad. There were so many things. The execution, you missed the field goal, that's fine. But there was a play earlier where you could have ran the ball a couple of times. So you had the ball, I think it was like 3rd down, and you could have ran for it, knowing you're in 4-down territory. You run the ball, right? And they end up trying to kick. What's that? Yeah. So appreciate your call. Listen, we have people dropping because there's a lot of people who are angry and want to get in here. We want to keep it short. One last word.
Okay, that's all I had. Good talk, and I'll probably call in next time.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, again, a lot of angry people out there. You have every reason to be upset. Just a crazy way the game rolled out. All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, so you guys callers. I'm not going to you have your point. Bring it out really quick. Great call by Sam, but we're gonna have to move on. I've lost 9 calls because people. No one's really waiting much longer than 15 minutes, but we'll get them rolling, callers. Don't worry about that. So we need LV. We absolutely need something fixed. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it absolutely has to be fixed. And it's not one thing. And now I'm beginning to worry and wonder if it's a culture thing. So players got to make plays, but I just don't know why this team is it a culture thing? Is it an attitude thing? Is this team kind of just not feeling it and playing scared? What is going on? Why can't this team close out close games? That's the biggest question I have.
Well, I think with anything, right, you always got to go to the top. And, I have, defended Lincoln Riley before I was on the other side. I started watching the games and started defending them. But your team goes as your head coach goes, right? So if your team is losing games and they're not able to finish games and they're struggling at certain moments, what do people say? Your team is not tough, right? They can't get through it. They don't have the backbone. They fold up in certain moments. So then they look at the head coach. That's what they do. And so your team is a representation of your head coach. That's just it. And so Lincoln Riley's got to try to find a way to try to bring these guys together. The tough part is that they're not getting blown out in all these games. They're losing close games. And so that's something he can lean on to try to keep that locker room together for these, his final, 3 games, Tim, we got, or 4? Is it 4 games left?
Well, they're down the stretch. The problem you're going to have down the stretch.
We have 3 more games left.
It's a little late. It's a little late in the season now. I mean, I see where you're going with this, but it's a little late in the season. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
But you asked me how, like, what do you do? Right? How do you? So to me, that's like the best thing you can do to try to keep these guys together, because it's the locker room. The locker room is going to be kind of fragile right now because they've gotten their heart broken in a lot of close games, and that starts to chip away at you. It does. So he's got to try to find a way to keep the locker room together, to try to finish out strong. But the other thing, too, Tim, that a caller did in the last call, I believe, he made a valid point. What are we going to do about these recruits now? Because they're watching, Tim. They're watching. They're seeing what's going on. And they want to know, is this the type of culture I want to be around? Is this what Lincoln Riley is showing now? It's just 2 years in a row now. This team has kind of crumbled towards the end of the season.
Right. That's all right. I just go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think that's another thing we got to look at. How is this going to look as far as recruiting? Because here's the thing, guys. We're upset about the offensive line. Mason, I don't want to say players' names. I apologize. Sorry. Certain players on the line should be playing better, right? People have touched on this today. That comes down to recruiting. So how do you win on the recruiting front? You got to win on Saturdays. That's not looking good. So what do we have to do? I don't want to promote people losing their jobs here, right? People want to get rid of certain coaches. So what do? Because that's the lifeline of college football is recruiting. And if you can't bring the top-notch recruits in, you're not going to look good on Saturday. Mm-hmm. We're seeing that right now, what the product is on the field. And that's based on with him not picking up players during recruiting, the players that we wanted to get. Tim, we've talked about it. I've come on here and I've talked to you about it, Tim. We got to get strong in the trenches. D-line and O-line. That's where we need to get. That's where football has won and lost at. And SC has not done well in that part of recruiting. And in the Big Ten, as you guys know, that's what you need to win games. O-line and D-line. And I don't even know recruiting-wise how that looks. But that's what I'm worried about with this 5-7 record. I mean, with this 4 and 5? What are we, 4 and 5 now? 4 and 5 record. Yeah, the recruits.
Yeah, it's been brutal, and recruiting LV is going to be an issue pretty soon because at some point these close games. Now, I'm trying to have people calm down a little bit because what someone asked me last show what are we going to sell? Well, you sell. Look how close we are. You don't want to say we're this amount plays away. You're saying, hey, look, you see this? Show them film. What do you got to do? And say, we feel you can make a difference. And I haven't met an 18-year-old who doesn't think they can be the solution to a problem. And so when you have that going on, that's what you need to do. You need to have sell the people that you are there. This is a loss. It's a rough loss, and the record sucks. But you have to say, look, we're losing these games by 5 points, by 1 point, by 3 points, by 7 points. At the end of the game, we feel you could be the difference. And so, I mean, until I see that, it's been hard to watch. So if you, I don't know if you have, what are your thoughts on the recruiting right now? I mean, because that's really starting to really be painful for USC.
Oh man. I mean, of course, you got.
No, I mean, not the actual recruiting. What they have, I'm saying, is hanging out. There's a lot of guys that are taking trips or talk about. I'm not going to name the actual recruits, but there's people that are taking trips, talk about taking trips. Everyone's the Julian Lewis thing's been, everyone's talking about that. But I mean, at some point, when do you think that these close losses will become a detriment to the program as well?
You know what's funny? Watching a lot of recruiting sites and kind of following through with that, I want to see exactly who SC is possibly getting without naming names. I'm hearing that recruits aren't really bothered by it. because guys look at it like you said, Tim, we can go in and play right away. Every guy, every recruit, they want to know, can I come in and play? Of course, NIL is a big part, but the biggest thing for these guys is they want to stay 3 years and they want to get to the league. They want to get to the NFL. That's the goal. So where can they go and play at on top of the NIL? And if they can promote that, if they can sell that, USC is still a top-tier program. And based on, like you said, Tim, based on these losses, it's not like we're far away. We're pretty close. We're not getting smoked by 40 points. That's not happening. So that's something that he could sell to recruits. Now, I know everyone's like really up in the air about the whole, the quarterback out there from Georgia, right? The kid, I'm not going to say his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about.
Juju Lewis, I'll say it.
Lincoln Riley's never had a problem getting quarterbacks. So I'm not really too concerned about that. Yes, if he comes, great. If not, okay. Lincoln Riley that's never been a problem for him. We got to look at what is it that we need help, because guys, we can get him, right? We can get the quarterback. But what if he doesn't get the offensive line cleared up? It's going to be the same issues. So to me, that's where you, especially in the Big Ten, that's where you really make your money, right? You got to get big on the interior. And to me, that's what I think everybody in the chat, everybody who loves USC should be looking at. How does he look on the O-line, the defensive line? Who are we going to bring in here? What are they selling to those kids? Quarterback play, offensive weapons. Zach is coming back next year. I don't think he's leaving. I think Mekhi Lemon is a wide receiver 1. I know he's coming back. Lane is coming back. Deuce is coming back. So we don't have problem with weapons. We got Jordan in the backfield. Brian Jackson. So weapons aren't the problem. It's the interior of this team. And that's where we have to get better at. And recruiting-wise, that's what you got to really push.
Yeah, I'm having an issue with the phone line. That's the issue right now. I might have to reset everything, actually. So what I'm gonna do right now, so we get someone in while I'm playing with the technical issues we're having, I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. You guys can join us here on the StreamYard account. Those of you guys are out there on computers. We'll do a makeshift on this right now. So I'm dropping it right now in the chat. Here's the link in the chat. If you'd like to join the show till I get the phone line fixed. Callers, we had a bunch of you. I will have it fixed. Don't worry. You can call back. But right there in the chat, that's your link to get in here to talk about the game. USC, to me, really is having an issue with their identity of running the ball or passing the ball. You've heard all the fans talking constantly about why aren't we running the ball more, when the offensive line seems like it's really built more for running the ball than it is offense. And yes, you have to look at, what are you looking at as far as the numbers in the box? What are you running up against? But it wasn't like they were putting a bunch of guys in the box. It wasn't like it was a heavy box and they couldn't run it. And I don't understand why USC can't commit to the run when that's really what they're meant to do. Get creative with the run. Maybe run some screenplays. I mean, people are freaking out the screenplays, but for whatever reason, throwing the ball down the field in this game, and especially in the first half, was killing USC. And I'm curious, I guess in the chat, if someone wants to join that way as well. I'm going to have to reset the phone line right here because this is simply not working. Well, what are your thoughts on that, LB?
Well, Tim, I've tried to defend Lincoln Riley, and that part I can't defend. And I think that's the stubborn part about him as a coach. And the reason why I say that is because you got to identify who you have as a quarterback, right? And, he's had his moments where he's done good, but you can't have him throwing 50 times. He's going to make a mistake. He's proven that week after week. So you're going to have to lean on your running game a lot more. Woody ran for 22. I think I did 22 and 123. 22 rushes for 123 yards, I believe, tonight. So he was doing really well. Joyner had 6 rushes for 38 yards. So those guys were really doing well. Now, what you have to do, like he did in the second half, he started scheming better, started getting better runs. He definitely started running well on that right side with Alani Noah and, of course, Mason Murphy. That was looking good. I think he was pulling Jonah Monheim on that, and that run was looking really, really good. So, to me, that's where he had to start using the run. So that's where, to me, he can use that to help out, the quarterback a little bit more. And that's where, to me, he dropped the ball, because you've got to run those guys. If they're really doing well, there's been quite a few games where we've all said it, like, run the ball. But I think with his history of quarterbacks, I think he's kind of stubborn and it's hard to change up. And that's where, Tim, I have to agree with you in this aspect. That's what shows your chops as a coach. You're able to adjust based on the roster that you have. And so through that, you're able to see, okay, these are the strengths and these are the weaknesses. I can't do what I did with Caleb and Kyler and all these other guys. I can't do that with this quarterback in this offense. So we're going to probably have to lead heavily on the run. Miller's going to probably have to pass for maybe 23 times. And we're going to have to split up the runs, 22 for Woody Marks, then maybe 10 or 12 or 15 for Joyner. And maybe throw out Jackson in that as well. So you're going to probably have to lean on that because you got to identify your strengths and weaknesses for your team.
Yeah, and they threw the ball well. I mean, Lemon, again, when he blew past that guy, it really opened up. The crazy thing is Miller almost threw for 300 yards. Granted, he threw the ball how many times? 50 times. 50 times. If you throw the ball 50 times, you're going to have interceptions. I mean, you might as well just get ready for that because that's what happens when you throw the ball that many times against a defense. Guys, this is no joke. This defense is solid defense, and the fact that Belichick had those guys ready. Steve Belichick had those guys ready for USC. Their second, it's not like this is the first game they had this great defense. This has been going on all season, and it's one of the better ones. I was thinking, well, no, maybe it's just because of the teams they played. They played one says basically, you had that kid up at Washington State who's tearing it up against everyone. He did well, but I was thinking, no, it's just down to the competition. It's really just down to the competition. But apparently it's not. Apparently it's not down to the competition because they are struggling. They're having difficulty really taking care of that and take care of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see that and see if USC can fix it going forward because as of now, it's just really, it's been an issue. All right, we're going to bring Adam on right here really quick. Well, I can try to figure out. Hi, guys. Adam Lempereau, he's in charge. He does the show over at the Rutgers channel. You guys make sure you go in there and signing up, checking out what he's doing over there. Make sure that you are able to drop a like in one of his videos and sub up because I'm sure, Adam, you'd enjoy the subs over there at Rutgers.
Thanks, Tim. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
So I'll be quick. I just, I'm going to say three things. Number one, I'm not sure which one of you said this, but you said start at the top. I'm going to start at the top. Carol Folt. I think she's a bad president for USC, and I think she should be fired. And I'll tell you why. She had a chance to hire Urban Meyer, and she stuck with Clay Helton. She didn't like Urban Meyer because of fears about scandal. Well, I got to tell you, I don't care if Urban Meyer goes to strip clubs or God knows what he does. He's not a felon. He's not a criminal. He's a winner. But she passed on that. Then she decides to go into the Big Ten, where we're 0-5, and our kids are traveling across the country every other week. And I never thought that was a good decision. And that has also been supported by Jen Cohen, who I think is over her head as an AD. Carol Folt is a problem at USC. I'll tell you who was a good president, Steven Sample. That was a president at USC.
All right, well, Adam, we can't go back to Steven Sample's no longer with us. And so, I mean, what we need to do is solutions now. Carol Folt's not getting fired. So what other solutions do we have?
Okay. So when it comes to Lincoln Riley, I empathize with Lincoln Riley. He's in a very difficult position. And, I don't hate the guy, but he is not, in my opinion, a head coach. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. And I know he's going through a tough time. I don't want to bash him, but I do think we need a new direction with a head coach. And I also think you have to blame the players. Lincoln Riley is not responsible for 3 interceptions against Washington. He's not responsible for the offensive line blocking no one on 4th down and goal. So the blame starts from the top. And I do believe that Folt is a problem. But since we can't do anything about that, what should we do with Riley? Well, I think Riley is ultimately going to recognize that being a head coach at USC is not the best thing for him, but I do wish him the best because he's a good man and he is a good offensive coordinator, and I think he will be one in the NFL. We need a new head coach, and we need to recruit players who are committed to USC.
Adam, hang on a second. Got to wrap it. We got the phone lines working again, so we got to wrap it up a little bit here. So basically, what does USC need to do right now to right the ship?
They need to fire Lincoln Riley, and they need to be one of the top 5 recruiting classes in the country. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, man. I got Preston on right now.
I got you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, we got our guy Preston in here. Preston, it's been a crazy night.
Hey man, hate to say it, hate to do it, man, but 3 interceptions, completely unacceptable. Today's the night. Today's the day. Got to change up the quarterback. Play better on both sides. Yeah, man, we should have won that game. Winnable game. We had them. You know, a lot of situations where I'm like, why aren't we running the ball? Early in that game, particularly early in that game, I think when Jacoby got that catch in the first quarter, you come out, you pass the ball, and then you end the game with 4 straight passes, right? If I'm not mistaken, at the end of the game. And I think maybe 2 timeouts left or 1 timeout left.
Well, we had to throw at the end of the game, though, Preston. The clock really dictated that they had to throw the ball, don't you think?
Well, at the end of the, did you have timeouts? Were there timeouts?
We had one. We had Preston. We had one left.
Left 1 on the board, right? Before the last play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
man,
audio's a little bit low,
like
Preston.
it.
Your audio's a little bit low.
Sorry.
Are you on a? Let me turn that for you.
I'm on
Go
the
ahead.
phone. Yeah, I'm trying to.
No worries.
But I didn't like that, man. I thought the defense played pretty well. Made some big stops. I thought they made some stops in secondary as well. I mean, a lot of times though, I gave them a lot of cushion on the wide receivers. They looked like it felt like they were always open at times. But the defense played good enough to win the game. But that's the difference, man. 3 interceptions on the road in this environment, you can't win. So
there was one crazy stat. The USC was in plus territory. They were in. It was on. So the first half I watched the radio. I always listen. I love listening to Pete Arbogast. Second half I moved over and I watched the national. I just tried to do that half and half. And they put a crazy stat up there though. They had the stat that SC was in plus territory. They were in Huskies territory to start the first 8. They got into Husky territory 8 in the first 8 drives of the game, and they had like almost nothing to show for it. They had that touchdown to show for it. Yeah. And I mean, that is a recipe for losing. I want to know. We can all point to Miller. It's not just Miller. We can point to the offensive line. It's not just offensive line. There were some drops. You know, there was a player, I don't want to name the name, had the ball. It was on a 3rd down play. It was short of sticks. Maybe they go for 7. Maybe they don't. But they're definitely kicking a field goal. Instead, they had a punt. That's 3 points right there. They missed a field goal. That's 3 more points. Right. And we can play this game all we want. I want to make it clear to anyone out there that's blaming completely on one person. This is a team issue, and we can play the game where we'll look at Riley, look at the coaching staff. But the coaching staff is putting this team in position to win. Players are not making routine plays. I'm not asking them to make Superman plays. These guys got to wrap the ball up, take care of the ball. There's so many plays that USC is leaving out there. You can say, well, the coaches need the receivers coach has to get on with that. Sure, we don't think that they're not getting on them. There is something going on this team. And I'm worrying it's deeper than just fixing one guy, replacing one guy, doing one thing. You know, there is something really bad going on with this team. Preston, you want to take a call really quick?
Yeah, take a call. Yeah, man. I think it's just mistakes, man. You had one of the offensive linemen had multiple false start penalties.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't know.
3 to be exact.
Man. Yeah, 3 false starts in the same. Can't do it, man. Can't do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, caller, thank you for being patient. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller, are you there? Oh, come on, man. You've been waiting 35 minutes. You there? I'm beginning to wonder if it's on my end. I thought I heard though. All right, caller, if you're there, call back. So we have 2 people in the queue left because the phone lines went down for a while. So let me see if we get this next call in. Yeah, so you guys, we are having some technical difficulties with the audio, but just hang in there and we will get to you. Trust me. There's only 3 people in the queue right now, so if you want to call or if you're in the call, man, it's a shame. We had 14 people in here, and I mean, I know people want to be heard tonight. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Danny. I'm calling from Los Angeles. How are you?
Danny, I've been better. On top of that, we're dumping 18 missed calls because I dumped all those calls. So sorry about that. What's on your mind, Danny?
Well, this is actually Danny's roommate. He's from LA. Danny fell asleep, but I'm here. I'm a diehard Oregon fan. I'm a
Great. All right. Well, you calling your Danny. We wanted to talk to Danny. We don't want to talk to the diehard Oregon fan, but go ahead. Hello?
Well, I just think USC needs to get rid of Lincoln Riley. Yeah, no, I'm here. First
Okay.
of all, I don't think the big name coaches are helping USC at all. I think they need to get back to grit, get back to what they came from. I mean, I remember I grew up in the Bay Area, so I was a Stanford fan when I was younger. I mean, Pete Carroll, they got to get back to that. It's the same with Stanford's got to get back to a Jim Harbaugh era. Flash isn't helping. LA's got a lot to sell. I think NIL will be a huge benefit to them, but they got to figure that out. It's right now they're not utilizing it.
You're gonna have a lot of people in your camp. You're singing your music to my ears for my dad, who's probably listening right now, and many of the old time SC fans.
Good.
And I mean, going past Pete Carroll, I mean, USC's got 5 guys wearing gold jackets that played offensive tackle, and we can't sign a top a 5-star offensive tackle. I know a lot of that has to be the NIL, but the story has been for a while. When was the last time SC had a 5-star offensive tackle that was a no-brainer, first-round draft pick going to the NFL? I mean, we haven't had one of those in a long time, Preston. We haven't had one with LV. We haven't had anybody like that in a while. Great. It's a great point. Danny's friend.
Who was the last one, Tim? Was it Jackson, right?
It was blanking on his name, but that left tackle. Before him, we didn't have anything either. Of course, I'm Panay Sewell.
Yeah.
But before him, Oregon was in the same spot. You got to get those grit guys. We finally have the D line. That's making the difference.
That is a great call. And I'm Danny's friend. I don't want to cut you off, but I've got a bunch. I got like 300 of angry SC fans. Listen, great season. You guys are doing great. Great win over Ohio State. Good win over Penn State. But tonight's not the night for it. Call in on Wednesday. We'll have this conversation. No one wants to hear how great Oregon's doing. All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, though. Thank you. Yeah, I'm something to keep it real with him. Look, he made some great points, but I mean, no one. Well, sorry, a good portion of the people that are out in the world right now in the chat, they don't want to hear about how great Oregon's doing. You guys are doing great. Your trenches look great. You've been building them for a while. Your NIL's second to none. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mike calling from Seattle, man. Big Ten fan, Illinois fan. I'm going to call y'all every week. Every week I'm going to call because you guys seem to think that it's the 70s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s.
How did Illinois do today?
4-5. Yeah, hey, we going to a bowl game. You might not go to a bowl game. So you can say what the Illinois did today. We 6-3. You 4-5 at the bottom of the Big Ten.
That's awesome.
I'm just, so.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
I mean, all I'm saying is this.
All right, Mike, say something that's new. And I'm all yours.
Hello?
Yeah, say something that's new, Mike, and then we'll carry that. But if you keep saying the same stuff, we're done.
Well, I got something.
Okay. Go ahead.
I got something that's new.
Go ahead.
Being up in Seattle, I will give y'all this. You got Jen Cohen. I respect Jen Cohen. I see what she did at the University of Washington. She's not going to take much more of Lincoln Riley. I know her. I know people that know her personally. She's a good athletic director. She's going to hand Lincoln Riley his balls. He's not going to be around much longer, and she's not going to tolerate his bull crap. And she's got Chris Peterson as an advisor. So that's the one saving grace you got for USC fans, because Lincoln Riley is not a head football coach. And it's like, you guys think somebody's hating on you because we're telling you that Lincoln Riley, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm looking at it from the outside in. Lincoln Riley is not a head football coach.
All right, I appreciate it.
And it's like you guys don't seem to understand that.
Okay, all right. Now you're going back to the same old speech. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate calling in from up north. Rough day for your. We feel you. Your Illini had difficulty as well. It's year 3, buddy. It's year 3. I will tell you this: the eyeball test has changed a lot in my book. I'm sure it has for LV and for Preston as well. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Russ from San Diego.
Russ, sorry. Yeah, you were backstage. My bad on that. I didn't get you in time, but listen, I know you got something to say, Russ.
Yeah, I think we all need to, and let me just say the solution is real quick. We got to get rid of Henson, and we got to rebuild the other side of the coaching staff. I know we just all assume that side's going to be fine because that's Lincoln Riley's side, but we rebuilt the defensive staff, and you saw how good it was to jazz up recruiting on that side of the ball. We got to get rid of Henson and get the Coach Henney version of Coach Henson to get offensive line recruits. So that's my simple solution. But the real point that I wanted to make tonight about this whole sort of like fire Riley thing is, who are we turning to?
Yeah.
Alabama just had a vacant coaching position. And when Alabama has a coaching position open after 17 or whatever years of Nick Saban, that's like Heidi Klum being 18 years old in high school and raising her hand in the auditorium and being like, hey, first one to come and shake my hand gets to take me to the prom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
And
Russ, but listen, Urban Meyer's out there somewhere. And I think, oh God, I just blanked on his name. Damn, there goes my joke. The guy that coached for the Raiders, John Gruden's probably out there too. I mean, that's one of the message board favorites too.
Right,
the people that come up with this stuff, I don't know where they come up with it, because those guys aren't coaching. First off, they're not coaching college anymore, and they shouldn't be coaching, and they haven't coached in years. So they're not real options, and quite frankly, not good fits for our university. I will stand on that one. I don't want to listen. Come at me. I don't want a guy. I don't want to win that bad that a guy like Urban Meyer's coaching in my school. Sorry, there's plenty of great coaches out there. We don't need that going on. It's not, and it was never going to fly at our school. So there you go.
And it's a moot point anyway. If Urban's not on full flip,
he's not going to coach.
It's a total moot point. So I think, we just need to ask ourselves right now if. And I like Kalen DeBoer. I'm just using him as an example. That guy's won at every level. He won at Division III. He won at Division II. He took the Huskies to a natty. And now half of Alabama's fan base wants him fired after 6 games. So this idea that we're going to fire Riley right now, who are we bringing in? Like, everybody who's putting this sort of, vibe into the ether right now, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to say it or whatever. I just think that, like, it would be more productive to, put the public pressure to get Riley a better offensive line coach. Like, let's get him, get him that other side of the ball that he needs help on recruiting. Because
Russ, we mean, instead of paying off someone $70 to $90 million, why not take that money and get better coaches on that side of the ball and throw, like, I don't know, $4 or $5 million, $6 million a year at the best tackles in the country? You think that might be a good solution, or should we get all angry in our feelings and fire the coach, and burn $70 million or $90 million because we hate Riley that bad? I mean, come on, that makes no fiscal sense. That makes no coaching sense. It makes no program sense. It doesn't. That we're on the hook. This is not a 3-year deal. This was a long-term thing. They're building stuff. And this is how it's going to be, folks. So if you want to wish everything away, go ahead. Let me know how it works out in the morning. LV, Preston, you guys have any thoughts on that? Do you think that we could probably use that money a little bit better than burning it in the backyard?
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, I think. Come on, man. I mean, listen. Like you said, man. Who else is out there, man? You know what I mean? Who else is out there that's going to do the job at this university? This is not. Listen, SC is not the middle of Wisconsin, right? It's not Madison, Wisconsin. This is not Auburn, Alabama. Like, this is LA, man. This is a different type of market. It's very similar to New York City, right? It's the same type of market. So you need a certain type of guy that's going to be able to deal with this, man. What comes with coaching for SC. Just walking through those doors, walking through the Coliseum, seeing those trophies, seeing those jerseys. You got to have a certain type of clout with you to come in here and coach here. Because if not, he's not going to survive a day, right? Because it's going to be hard. We got the perfect guy for it, but it takes time. It does. It's not easy, man. It's not as easy as it once was. It takes time. Yeah. So you got to
what are your thoughts?
The process.
Yeah, man. Firing Riley. I need to watch this game. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is when you watch the game at the stadium and whatnot. So I really need to look at the decisions that he made on offense again and dissect. And, I was waiting until year 5. I'm a little bit more liberal with how I judge these coaches, so I know how hard of a job it is. And obviously, like LV said, the standards at SC are nothing to play with. People aren't going to be patient. $110 million, like, people are paying $1,000 to go to games, $20 for drinks and hot dogs. Like, people are pissed off. So, but guys, I appreciate you, LV. Tim, I'm about to head to this restaurant. I'm almost getting there.
Have one for me.
Yeah, you know, so I watched the game. You know, I'm with my girl, so I don't want to make her too mad, but she's letting me do this. But I appreciate
You guys enjoy Seattle tonight and try to forget about this game. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'll see you guys soon. I'll talk to you guys, and I'll watch the game and see where we went wrong again, unfortunately.
All right. See you, Preston.
All right, man.
All right,
Take
Preston.
it easy.
Right on.
All right, LV.
Yeah, that go out and enjoy the. I wish I could tell you that right now. Sorry, really quick. Russ, anything else? We've been on hold for a while. We got people stacking up again. The call queue's going again.
I'll clear the line, guys. That's all I got.
Listen, thank you, Russ, for calling in. Appreciate you so much. There's no easy answer to this, you guys.
Hey, Tim, can I say something real quick before you go to the next caller?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, listen, man, Russ, great call. Great call. And the reason why I say that is because, guys, before we're so quick to throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? I'll use that term. You got to look at the landscape of college football, man. Look at the coaches that are out there. Who are you going to bring in? You want Riley gone. You want him out of here. Who do you want to bring in? And how is SC going to pay that? What is it, Tim? $70 million? How are you? Think about that, guys. Do the math. What does that look like? So before we're so quick to jump out of the window and say, get rid of this guy, and you look at his resume, and I'm telling you right now, as soon as you let him walk out that door, watch who snatches him up. All the top schools, they're going to say, they let him walk? We want him here. Michigan's going to snatch him up and have their offense rolling. Who else is out there? Auburn may snatch him up. Florida State, all these other schools that are at the bottom. So be careful what you wish for, guys. That's all I have to say, Tim.
I would just say I'm with you, but I'm not sure how quickly it's snatched up. There's some tarnish there. There's tarnish now there. I mean, you know, these 3 years, what he did in 22 was amazing, right? And by the way, people say it's all Caleb. What happened in 23 then? It was just Caleb, but he could take it on and do everything. I will tell you that he has some tarnish on him, and before he moves on to anywhere, he's gonna have to have a solid season at USC because he hasn't had that except for that 22. The last 2 years again have been major disappointments. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Michael, calling from Phoenix. How are you, Tim?
Michael, thank you for calling. I'm doing great outside of that game. I was doing great this week until that happened.
I'm in deep pain, brother. If I have tweeted Fire Lincoln Riley once, I've tweeted it a gazillion times, brother. It's embarrassing and unacceptable. You guys are right, Matt. Matt called it out a few weeks ago. This team is soft because their coach is soft. It's that simple. This team is soft because their coach is soft. That bugs me is we thought that last Grinch was the problem, right? Because Ryan we are in with very winnable games.
Mike, I'm sorry, we're losing your signal, but your point is well taken. I don't know if that makes the coach soft. I mean, I've heard that before. I heard that for a while. The team's soft because the coach is soft. I don't think this team is soft. I think this team is flawed. You can be flawed and not soft. You know, I think that the issue is that they aren't executing. And so if you want to call it, if that's what you refer to as being soft, I mean, I think of soft as guys that aren't, you know, you had Achille Arnold, for instance, right? I watched that guy leave games and come back all the time. He's not going off the field because he got a scratch. That guy got nailed and he's back out there maybe a quarter later. That's not soft. You had Emmanuel Pregnon last week who was playing on a bad wheel, you know, came back. No one thought he was going to play, but he was back and he played. That's nothing soft about that. And mentally soft, maybe there could be some mental softness because there's definitely some issue with USC finishing out games. And part of that is just about being focused and tuned in. Maybe your word of soft, LV, maybe the word they're saying soft maybe means something else, but this isn't a softness issue. This is an issue with teams not being wired and ready to go, not hitting on all cylinders and not executing. If that's the definition of soft, I think soft's the wrong word. I would suggest that anyone saying soft, find a word that's adjective that works better than soft.
Tim, I totally agree with you. I just think, man, Tim, just everyone's upset, man. everyone's upset. This is not what we expected, man, especially after that LSU loss. I mean, that win, excuse me. After that LSU win, we were all on a high, man, especially how we were playing in Michigan. We thought we were going to win. We didn't make the tackle at the end, and that was pretty much the beginning. That started like the avalanche. What happened at the end of Michigan started the avalanche, and we just can't stop the avalanche. We got to stop at Michigan. Look at our record. We don't throw the pick at Penn State. He catches that. We kick a field goal. Look at that. So you got to think how close we are. And it's like you said, Tim, it's a myriad of things. It's numerous things, man. But everyone is just frustrated, just trying to figure out how do we fix it. And I think that's what it is with the whole, the coach is soft and this is soft and fire Riley and, Jaden Mayava. Also, Jaden Mayava, I'm going to throw this out there before I throw it back to Tim. Lincoln has proven, guys, in the past, if the other quarterback is not getting it done, he puts in a new guy who he feels is just as good as better. This guy's a quarterback whisperer, man. He knows that if this kid isn't playing, he's probably not ready. Trust me, he's probably not ready. He maybe doesn't know the playbook. That's one thing about Lincoln. He hasn't been perfect this year. We know that. We've all talked about it. But one thing this guy knows is quarterbacks. So
people have told me he's playing Miller because he likes Miller. Come on.
No.
I'm just being sarcastic as hell.
Yeah,
I get it.
I'm probably telling you what's happening. I play football. The kid probably doesn't know the playbook that well.
I don't know about that part of it because again, I haven't seen.
What I'm saying is,
except for who.
I'm right, but I'm just throwing it out there that maybe, probably, I don't know.
Yeah,
it could be anything.
Your first point, though, hold on, LB. Your first point is a solid point. Is that there's something. What it is, we don't know. But anyone thinks that Miller Moss is playing because Lincoln Riley likes him more than Jaden Mayava. Can you please stop? No. Just stop. That's just absurd. Hi, caller. First off, thank you, Traveling Fools. I'm terrible at self-promotion on this show. So yes, if you guys could hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate you guys all being here. We're gonna be going live. I'm sure they're gonna pop up sometime this week with a therapy session, without a doubt, after I watch the game and stuff. And then on Wednesday, every Wednesday night, 7:00, at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, we do our call-in show. And I'm sure that's gonna be just as loud once people let this thing percolate a bit. Sorry, caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey man, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. My name is Mauricio. I'm over here in San Antonio, Texas, man. Just mad disappointed, man. Just tired of the same thing. But the thing is, what I'm frustrated with, I think the issue is Lincoln Riley, 100%. Because did you guys watch the Georgia-Texas game? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
I watched part of it. Yeah, I can't say I watched the whole thing.
Okay. Well, the play where it went viral, where Steve went ape shit. Remember whenever it was a pass interference, got overturned? Lincoln does not have any type of fire in him. If we had somebody like Steve, Kirby, Nick last year, that actually gets mad and emotional during plays, the boys are going to get riled up. They're going to actually want to follow Lincoln and get, that momentum. Lincoln doesn't have anything. Anytime Miller Moss does an interception, he goes over there and pats him on the head. Tells him, good job.
Mauricio.
That's the shit that's wrong with the team.
Can I tell you something?
First of all, I want to hear what you guys think. What do you guys have to say?
Yeah, no, I hear your point. You're seeing the TV copy. I'm on the sidelines a lot. Like I'm there. I'm actually trying to photograph. I'm still waiting for a really good picture for Lincoln Riley. I keep trying to get a really good one. And believe me, that guy has a lot, and I mean a lot of energy on the sidelines. So he lights up coaches. He lights up. He lights up referees all the time. So maybe they don't show it on the TV copy. But believe me, he's getting on, guys. He's getting loud.
Guys, I can't hear anything.
What's that?
You mind saying that one more time, or just like sum it up? It was cutting out. Do you mind saying that one more time, real quick?
Just shortly is Lincoln Riley does show a lot of emotion on the sidelines. I mean, he doesn't do it all the time. Like he's not throwing tantrums. So? I'm there filming the home games, right? And I went to 2 of the away games, and I watched the man. Yes, on the bad calls, he absolutely is in the ear of the officials every time. So if he's not sitting back going, we'll get him next time. No, that's not accurate, though. I'm just saying.
Okay. And then also, like I said, I think Lincoln's a problem. Obviously, is deeper than just that. Like everyone was saying, offensive line coach, players, it's a whole bunch of things. But I think it comes down to Lincoln. Just because, like I said, he doesn't have like nuts, if that makes any sense. Last year, Nick Saban, I think it was the second game or third game, whenever they played USF, he benched Milroe. You think Lincoln's going to do that with Moss or any of the quarterbacks had in the past? Last year, he should have done that at least maybe once or twice with Caleb. I just feel like Lincoln, I don't know, he doesn't have any, like, I don't know, doesn't have the ball, doesn't have, like, that winner mentality. He needs to show these star players, all these high recruits, that just because they're highly talented and they go to USC doesn't mean that, oh, just because you're good, you're not going to, you know.
When a player was just
to
help you out, Mauricio. If a player makes a dunk, like for instance, you had to play. God, was it Jalen Smith? I can't remember who it was. No, who was it? Who had the personal?
It was Greedy Vance. Greedy Vance
ripped that helmet off. He's on the bench. You know, whenever there's he has guys, and also as LV was saying, when a guy is not ready to go, he will pull if he's got a person behind him he thinks is equal to or better than him and able to step in and help the team. That's the key point. If I put this kid in, not because I'm mad at this guy or not because he's not performing, but if I yank him and put someone else, do I put the team in a better position to win? If the answer is yes, he probably would have done it by now. But if he pulls Miller for having a bad game and puts someone that's not as good as Miller, is he helping the team?
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know
what you're saying, but Nick Saban did that last year against USF. You really think Ty Simpson was a better quarterback than Milroe last year? Let's be honest here. No. Well, he did it to show Milroe a message. And what did Milroe do? Took him to playoff.
I don't think we have the defense.
That's hard to compare. That's Nick Saban, man.
That's
you know what I mean? Like
the defense, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you could do that if you have an Alabama defense to prove a point. Yeah. Well, listen. Again, I don't want to make. I feel like I'm constantly defending Lincoln Riley, and I'm with you. I'm just gonna say though, there's certain things that I perk my ears up when I hear things like like replace him. I'm telling you guys, he would have replaced him by now if he felt that he could bring in Jaden Mayava and Jaden would be able to perform at, or maybe even a little bit lower level than Miller and run the offense. I don't know what it is. I don't, no one sees the practice for the players, sees that much practice to know who's what. But I have almost zero.
I have one more question too.
I have almost zero thoughts that he's playing some favorites game or he doesn't want to sit Miller. That makes no sense. So what's your last thought?
Last thought. He's been, coaching games for 3 years now, and he's a good coach. Obviously, he has a good resume. That's the reason why I was so excited whenever he first got to USC. What do you think actually goes through his head whenever he's seeing things work, but he doesn't use them in the first half? Like everyone knew, he had weeks to prepare for this game, at least a week, and everyone knew, Washington's defense is good at the pass. They're playing the pass. Why the hell is he not running the ball in the first half?
LB?
That's a valid point, man. You're not wrong about that. We've all been saying that, and I think a lot of times Lincoln kind of gets into his ego.
He has weeks.
Hold on, bud. Go ahead, LB.
No. I think sometimes Lincoln gets into his ego, right? He trusts and believes in what the plays that he calls. He has certain things schemed up, and he probably feels like he can out scheme the defense. But I have to agree with you. I mean, that's where he dropped the ball at, because in the second half, we started scorching him with the run game. I mean, Marks was 22 for 123.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm like, what does he not see, though? He's a coach, man. He gets paid millions of dollars to see this shit.
Okay, hold on. One more thing also is
it hurts my head.
One more thing also is that sometimes Miller pulls it. It is a run play. He could hand it off, and it's not there. It's a simple math situation, And he has a key, and he reads the key, and then he keeps it instead of running it, and they throw the ball. I mean, that's just what they do. But I agree. I think everyone here, and I think everyone agrees in going to the game. But also, one thing about game planning is you might go into the game with a plan, but you think that you think that defense is going to stay static and not throw curveballs at you. So that's what it is. They came out in the second half. If you look on defense and offense, they won the second half. The problem is that they ran out of time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? The problem is where were they in the first half? I've been saying this again and again and again. I said the key to win this game. I said it on 3 different shows. Get out fast, because I thought there'd be a big Husky crowd. Get out fast and take the crowd out of it. They did the opposite. Again, three and out, missed field goal, interception. That's how you start the game. And it's not just this game. Even LSU against Michigan. When have we ever, especially on the road, when has SC played close to 4 quarters on the road? If you want to go after Riley, that's where you go after Riley. That's my biggest beef.
I think the issue is
we come out flat.
Like I said, Riley and Miller. Like I said, I know. Like I said, the next call I got to get on, but I mean, I know you guys watched the game. Miller almost threw 5 interceptions. Dude, 2 interceptions really should have been caught. The 2 people from Washington missed. The balls were in their hands. My solution, and then I'll log off. We need a coach. Like I said, I just feel like we need a coach that gets involved. Like I said, gets fired up, shoots people out, like old Nick Saban, like gets in their face. That brings momentum to the team. And then 2, I think we just need to get rid of Miller Moss. Honestly, he's a piece of shit.
All right, man. Listen, hey, listen, you got to go. Sorry, we're not going to call Trojans pieces of shit. Sorry, appreciate you got caught up in the moment. Appreciate you calling in, but I'm not. Nobody's calling Trojans pieces of shit on my show. Sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys got to check this.
Hey, guys, really quick. We got to have respect for the kids, man. They're in college. They're trying to do the best that they can. Some of these guys are going to go on to the next level. Some of these guys aren't. But they're in college, man. They're trying to do the best they can. Yes, this is a sports show. Me and Tim, we love the Trojans, but at the same day, they still are kids, man. So let's kind of have those respect for those guys.
And if you're pissed off, fine, be pissed off, right? But let's the name calling is really out of bounds. And one more thing, be careful what you wish for, because the days of the Nick Saban screaming in kids' faces, the Brian Kelly's, all that stuff. Nick Saban could do that because he was Nick Saban. These kids aren't putting up that stuff for a minute. You can't get a kid's face and yell anymore. That's not going to get to it. This is a whole generation of new kids. In teaching, you can't. You have to reach to the kids. And I'm telling you, just over time, these kids they're not going to react well to being shouted at. This is not the 1990s. This isn't 2000. This is in the 2010s. This is a different situation, and they are not going to be shouted at. You won't have players if you do that.
Tim, I'm so glad you said that. I was going to say that, man. You stole my point. This is a new day, man. This is a new day. Kids are not made how they once were, man. And you yell at a kid, you scream at a kid, and he's making $1.5 million. He's going to walk out of there just like Bear did. What did Bear do? Bear said, "Okay, I'm redshirting."
You don't have to shout at kids. You don't want to mollycoddle these kids. You hold them accountable, and you pull them into your office. You say that's not good enough. Like I've seen, I don't know what he's saying to Miller, but there have been times where I've seen expressions on Miller's face as he talks to him. He's not screaming at him, but he's making his point clear. I mean, if anyone thinks that they're not, these kids aren't having a talking to, it's different. I never liked it. I don't know about you guys, but I never liked it when Brian Kelly would scream in his quarterback's faces.
Well, Tim, I'm sure he's holding Miller accountable. I don't think he's just saying it's okay to throw picks or mess up or do whatever. Great job, whatever. I don't think he's doing that, Tim.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hi, caller. Thank you for waiting. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Call, you there?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the game? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Jay. I'm calling from Las Vegas.
Thanks for calling in, Jay. What's up?
So well, thank you. Thank you for taking my call. My big thing is this is the thing that I have with Lincoln, and I think this is what frustrates most fans, is it seems like we don't seem prepared to start the game, or not even that. It feels like we don't do the right, like he's not paying attention to the scouting report. You look at the Michigan game. They have the 2 best first round draft picks on Michigan's defensive line. We run it for their first, right up the middle, the entire first half, 7 points. Same thing with today. Best pass defense. We throw for 29 attempts in the first half, 7 points each time. And the defense does adjust. The defense doesn't make great adjustments in the second half, but then we put so much pressure on our offense in the second half, and it just kind of feels like we're not necessarily preparing properly. We knew that Washington didn't have a great running game. We knew that Michigan didn't have a great passing game. So I think the frustration with a lot of people is that with Lincoln Riley, we all know, like, yes, you are a great offensive coach. You do understand these things, but it's like running the ball today takes pressure off of Miller Moss, because everybody's going to kill Miller Moss because he had 3 interceptions. Part of that is because we didn't run the ball enough. So when I look at Lincoln Riley, I'm like, when we say, are we putting our players in the best position to win? Sometimes it doesn't feel that way because we're not presenting the best game plan to make sure they're in the best position to win. And then we put pressure on our defense because they have to be heroic. And that's my frustration with Lincoln Riley is, man, it doesn't seem like it's that difficult. Well, it obviously is difficult, but it seems like in a way, it's kind of like that whole keep it simple, stupid type of thing. We know this is their strength. why are we attacking them in their strength in the first half? Right.
Okay, well, a couple things.
Let's go what we know that their weaknesses is for.
Yeah, a couple things. It's not that easy. It's not about knowing what because again, they show you stuff on film, but you know how you win games. Judd Fish is an amazing coach. That secondary isn't just making USC's passing game difficult. They've been doing it all year. I guarantee you.
Exactly
I know it's hyperbole, right? But yes, they are looking. Hang on, dude. Hang on, man. They are looking at the film. They are preparing. They do know it's coming. If you want to talk about the Michigan pass rush, it's, how do I say this? You know it's coming, but how the hell are you going to stop it? Those guys are NFL players, and we don't have the players to stop them.
No, I didn't talk about no. I didn't say Michigan pass rush. I said the Michigan front line, and we kept running up the middle and Mason Cobb and everybody. Like, why are we running up the middle?
Because they couldn't get the edge.
Trying to do some passing.
Because they couldn't get the edge. They're losing 3 or 4 yards. They were losing 3 or 4 yards when they tried to bump it out. So now it's second and 14 instead of second. So they tried to go up the middle. I get you. You're running right into Grant. I understand your point. The point is you don't have a lot of options.
Okay.
Right? Do you agree or disagree? And then explain why you disagree.
Okay. No, I will agree. I will agree with that. Like, you may not always have the options. For some teams, you just can't outskill. I get that. Today, and some other games, everybody will say the same thing. It does seem like we start out the first half or the second half or whatever you have it, and it doesn't feel like we come out prepared. We know what that team's strengths are. We knew Washington's strength is they're the best pass defense in the country. We threw the ball 30 times. We're like, okay, that does not feel like it feels like we're trying to go against their strength. In the first half.
Listen, I see I see your frustration, but we have 9 people waiting to call. I gotta get these to these super chats. I'm not trying to rush you along. You made a great point, but I think we're going back to the same thing. And the fact is you're concerned about the fact that they're not preparing for the games. I promise you, Lincoln Riley a couple weeks ago. Sorry.
No, I think they do. I think it doesn't seem like that.
Okay, it looks like they're not. Yes, but they are. Okay. Yeah.
The last thing about the Lincoln Riley and D'Anton Lynn, I think they have the perfect temperament between the two of them. I think they're not those rah-rah coaches. I do believe they hold players accountable because you can see the adjustments.
They do.
Obviously, you see the adjustments in the second half. They run the ball. You can see the defense adjustments in the second half. I do think they have a great mesh. I also do think, look, it's their first time together. I say we need to give Lincoln and D'Anton another year because they really need to work together and figure out how they're going to game plan. I see them as, this is the first year. Look, we're losing all these games by one possession. We're not getting blown out, right? They're all one possession games. You've all had to leave in the fourth quarter. It's frustrating because you all want to win every game. But I'm like, you know what? Let's see what happens next year. When there's another recruiting cycle, Lincoln has the quarterback because he didn't really want Moss, right? We know he wanted a different quarterback. So it's like, let's see what happens next year when everybody gets their players, and we can see what really happens when both of these coaches have a true recruiting cycle. So I'm kind of more positive for the next year because at least the one thing I can say is we're losing games by 5 points, 6 points, 3 points, 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign. That's better than it was with Helton when we got blown up by like 30.
Oh, don't say that word. On night time.
Like this, no. I meant Utah. You know, I didn't mean I mean like Utah and stuff like that. When we were getting blown up by like 30 and stuff in the Coliseum, that's not happening now.
Yeah, Jay.
They're only losing in their first year. So I'm like, everybody just take.
Jay, excellent points. Jay, excellent points. I got to move on though.
Yeah.
Okay, and really quickly though, the issues are you do have a couple misses. You know, he went after Lagway last year, didn't get him. You know, you had Nelson who came in, he got injured in his senior year. He was never the same quarterback. So people got to remember the bigger picture. But it's still year 3. I've been saying about now on the offense, the defense is their own mixed bag. I don't know about ULB, but the offensive side, I said at the very beginning, I was looking at Josh Henson. I said this is the year. He's got to show something this year. I know who he's working with. He's got to recruit. So he's working with these young guys. He's got to get them developed and get them ready to play. Okay. And on top of that, he needs to get in and we need to get some.
The line was good today, though.
Hang on, dude. Okay.
The line was good.
The protection was good, but they were rushing 3 and 4 guys. You know what I mean? I'm talking the line protection was good today, right? I did like that. And the run blocking was solid today. I'm not looking about just today. That's what I'm saying. People were calling for jobs in game 1, game 2, game 3, game 8. Let's wait till the season's over, evaluate it, and then move on. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for your call. Appreciate you calling.
What was the call?
The same way.
What was the caller, Tim? His name was Jay?
Jay.
Listen, everybody in the chat, man, give a fight on time for Jay. Listen, that's a passionate fan. He was locked in. He had all the answers. He knew everything. Listen, that to me is like a 5-star call tonight. If you want to put a fight on sign in the chat or a 5-star, you do so, because that was a legit call tonight. A guy that knew his stuff and extremely passionate. But Tim, I would say passionate the right way. Wouldn't you say so, Tim?
I agree. Great call. For the most part, all the calls have been great, but Jay, that was a solid call. Thank you, man. Hope you call in again. Call us on Wednesday. Hopefully call us over
Thank
next
you.
win. All right. Take care, man.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. So I have a bunch of super chats because I don't know if you knew this, LV, but I'm, again, terrible at promoting the channel as well as hitting up people in the chat call. I'll be with you 1 second. So early on the show, we had Will. Thank you, Will. Been a member here for 9 months. Miller's a great story and seems like a great young man, but USC needs a change at the position. We're talking a lot of the same language, but we're also saying, what are the options at this point? Miller, to me, just does not seem like the same quarterback he was to start the year. I don't blame him. He's been knocked all over the field. Gixer, thank you so much, Gixer. I objectively believe we are in this position due to an unattractive, weaker NIL and the inherent obligation Lincoln Riley has to perpetuate Miller Moss's starting quarterback status over as a carryover from Helton. I just don't know about that. I'm telling you, in my opinion, because I don't get to watch practice, in my opinion, he's playing the guy he feels gives USC the best chance to win the game. He's not throwing games, guys, and he's not playing them because he has an obligation or anything like that. At this point, it's not right or wrong. I'm saying this. I'm saying I believe Lincoln Riley feels that Miller Moss still gives this team the best chance to win. And I'll tell you what, until he shows otherwise, he kind of knows a thing about quarterbacks, LV.
Listen, Tim. Hey, listen, Tim. The reality is this, right? This is the hand that he's dealt, and this is what he dealt with. But the reality is, you said it. He had a couple of guys he wanted, and he didn't get those guys, and he missed out on those guys. And this is where we're at. So,
and when you only go after one guy and you miss, that's kind of where we are right now. That's why this saga is kind of interesting. John, I didn't miss it. I'm just terrible at my job. John, one back over 5.5 yards, another over 6. Why did they pass the ball 50 times? It's not running just to run. It's running because it works. In the first half, they didn't run enough. But when they did run, they were getting stopped. It wasn't working in the first half for whatever reason. They couldn't get out of their own way on either throwing or passing really in the first half. It was a mess, So maybe the passing, opening up the running. They came out in that third quarter running like mad fools, and they were ready to do it, and they did a great job blocking and run blocking. Great question. I wish they'd run more. Absolutely. My untrained eye said, "Why aren't we running the ball more?" That was from earlier. Thank you, Traveling Fools. And then I didn't, John, but I'm sorry it took me that long to get to it. And the last one is y'all about to look like a playoff team soon. GBR. Well, we're playing you guys soon. GBR is Go Big Red. Those are our Nebraska friends. I hope we can get together. I think this team can, with this coaching staff, be a playoff team. But man, it just doesn't seem like they know how to win on the road. It just doesn't seem like that. How do you take a team like Penn State, to the wire at home, go to overtime? How do you look like you have the win in hand against Michigan? You just got to wrap it up, literally, and the game's over, and you let it slip away. How do you go out to Piscataway and lose, right? I'm sorry, go out to Maryland and lose. Sorry,
yeah, College Park. Yeah,
and then how do you have a situation where you go into Minnesota, and although they got screwed, why were you in that position? That's a bad Minnesota team. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Danny. I finally woke up. I'm from LA.
Well, thank you, Danny. What's going on?
Hey, so when I was growing up, I was a fan of the Trojans, and I was a fan during, I don't know, the golden years. But after growing up and, maturing, basically I went to Oregon. I'm an alumni. And honestly, after seeing everything, I think you guys deserve all of the pain and all of the hate that you guys get as a fan base. I think you guys are all arrogant. I think that...
You know what's so funny? Is that Oregon still doesn't know how to win. You know what I mean? They've been doing pretty good lately, buying everybody, and they still don't know how to win. I'll tell you what, listen, Danny from LA. By the way, my favorite, I'm going to crack a little bit here. It was like, well, I was a Stanford fan, but now I'm a Duck fan. These guys' allegiance just fly all over the place. It's like, well, who's winning? Who am I going to follow here? When you guys get 11 national championships, you give me a call. And then you could talk about our arrogance because we have it. And you know what? Don't come in here talking about us being arrogant. That was one of the more weird calls we've had in a while. Apparently, they're having an amazing season, LV, and he still can't get USC out of his mind. Welcome to the world of Oregon.
Tim, their trophy case doesn't look like ours, Tim. Okay?
Man, they're having a magical season. And Danny from LA still can't get USC out. Maybe we're not arrogant. Maybe we are that good, Danny, because you know what? You're sitting at home on a Saturday night with your team coming off of a solid win. And you know what you could think about? USC.
Tim, they're the number one team in the nation, Tim.
And yet he's calling in to a show. That's sad, Danny. I don't know what to say. That's pretty sad. Well, we're having that phone issue again. I don't know why it's just locked up, but it's been a great run. I mean, there's 339 people on here right now. I guess I don't know what your story is or where you get the BLV, but we got 7 people in the queue, and I think I've got no idea why it just locks up sometimes, but it does. Whoever's, if you guys are out there, if you just hang up right now, we can get the calls back. Otherwise, we have no more phone calls. So until I have one call on the line right now, I'm looking at it right now. There's something bugged out with the phone system. If you guys hang up and call back, then we can start again. But that's how to fix. Thank you guys. I see 5 people just dropped. Thank you. 6. We're still waiting. The one person who's the problem is still on the line. It's probably Danny. Danny's just sitting on the phone all night. He's mad.
I will say this about most Trojan fans. Of course, everyone's upset. They're extremely frustrated. I feel the same way. I was screaming at my television the same way. Had to come down here and keep it calm with Tim. But trust me, I'm boiling on the inside. Trust me, we are, because we want to win. Listen, we're passionate fans. We love the Cardinal and Gold. We know the history. We know how good we can be, right? So, and these losses are crushing losses. Like, this is not like we're getting blown out. That's why it's so frustrating, because we're right there. We're right there, and it's happening week after week. It's like the definition of insanity, right? So that's why this hurts so much, and that's why everybody wants a quick fix. But Tim, I have to beat the drum that you've said. Listen, it's not one thing, man. It's numerous things. It's not a quick fix. And sometimes things don't go our way, man. In life in general, we just want to press the button and fix it, and it doesn't go like that. And I think that's what's been happening, because every week there's games we should win. We should win this game. Michigan, we should have won that game. Penn State, definitely. We outplayed them. Today, we outplayed them in the second half, and we're just losing these games. So I could understand the frustration. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, people.
Yeah, no doubt. No, LV, listen. You've been calling in as long as anybody on these shows. If there's anybody who is the diehard Trojan fan that keeps it real, but also has a smile, I don't know, it's almost infectious. How you always find, you're like my dad, you always find something positive to come out of the program. And that's what keeps me sane, because I can't really sometimes see straight. I'm so pissed off. Caller, hi, thank you for whoever it was that hung up finally. Thank you. We got our calls back. So if you're in the queue, call right back. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Michael, calling from Phoenix. This is my 3rd time calling in. Tim, how are you?
Good, Michael. Thanks for calling. Well, yeah, you called earlier, right? You were talking about being soft or whatever,
Yeah, I did.
the soft coaching.
Yeah, we got cut off. And I don't know. I don't know. I got cut off. I think the call got disconnected. I'm not sure. So if you want to pass it on to somebody else, that's cool. But anyway, my apologies, brother. So
No. Thank you for calling in.
So yeah, man, I just, again, man, I think it's all on Riley.
Okay.
Since I looking at social media, and some of the things that he's saying right now are comical. He keeps going back to this, we're this close, and you can blame everybody you want. He should have benched Moss a long time ago, and I just can't explain it, brother. I can't explain the two halves. I can't explain why we played the way we did in the first half versus the second half, and there's just no way to justify the amount of money that he's making and the product.
Mike, let me switch it around. Mike,
putting out on the field.
Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you up, but we are getting really redundant. Not you, but just everyone in general. It's just been this echo going back and forth. What should Riley say? What should Riley be saying right now? Go ahead. But remember, you're not just talking to the fans that want, pitchforks and torches. You're talking to recruits. You're talking to recruiting families. You're talking to your players. You're talking to your players' families. What do you say as the coach?
Yeah, I am not. It's funny, and I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
He's not getting the job done. It's that simple. He is the head ball coach.
Wait, no, Mike,
he's
stop.
Not getting the job done.
Mike, no, I don't want to cut you off, but we have people waiting, and I really want to hear from you. So listen to my question. Okay. You don't like his messaging. I think a lot of people don't. What do you want him to say? But remember, you're not just trying to appease fans, because really, no offense, it's the last person probably is important is the fan. He doesn't owe an apology to the fans.
So
he's selling his program to other players, right? His current players, their families, the recruits, and the recruits' family, which say that they're way more important than the feels of the fan base. Yes or no?
Well,
no.
If you look
Stay
at
to that question, please.
Listen, I get what you're saying, but if I'm a recruit, and I'm sitting there going, why is he still playing that quarterback that has thrown 3 picks?
Okay. My question. No.
He has a backup quarterback.
Mike. My question to you is, what is he supposed to say? You have a problem with what he said. Tell me what he's supposed to say.
We're all about winning. This school, this university, this institution is all about winning. And right now, I'm not getting it done as a head ball coach because we're not winning games. It's unacceptable. And I need to do a better job of coaching so that we can show the product on the field that we know we are capable of being. It's
Perfect.
that simple.
I think
You've got a team capable of winning.
Wait. You just won me over. That's what he needs to say. And I totally agree with you. I agree. He needs to say that. But then he needs to mix in the message that they are close, because you do want to see. Here's the thing. You want to sell hope. He needs to be accountable. So I think what I hear you saying is you want him to be more accountable. None of this we're right there, blah, blah, this and that. But he needs to start with, this is USC. We win championships. I came here and initially said that we're going to win championships and we have a high standard, blah, blah. And now I'm saying we're so close. You're right. I think once in a while, Riley would do himself a lot of favor, even if it's just lip service, possibly. But he has to know it. I think he does have to say that. Listen, but here's the thing though. He has said. Now I said that he has said that in press. You watch press conferences. He does say, "Hey, look at and we got to do this with it, and it all starts with me. I'm the head coach." He does take responsibility for that.
Tim, he said it tonight that it's on me. Tim, he said it's on me tonight.
He doesn't learn from his mistakes.
Well, no, which is it though, Mike? Is he not learning from his mistakes, or you don't like what he's saying? Because he has taken that responsibility. You want to hear from him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Listen, I know you're upset, and you have every right to be upset. But I think we need to hold him accountable for what he's screwing up on. I've never been a big person who cares what the coach says, because 99.9% of it is just coach speak. It doesn't really mean anything. If you let it ruffle your feathers, you're putting your energy in the wrong direction. That second part you talked about, where we need to see change. He's not making the changes. He's doing the same thing. That's where you want to focus on. Okay. Why didn't we run the ball?
Let me ask a question, Tim. Tell me, don't you Do you not see any similarities between what happened with Grinch last year and what's happening with Moss this year?
Explain. No, those are two totally different things. But explain how they're similar.
His loyalty to the people that he finds closest to him is amazing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they are cooking his butt, right? He is loyal to a fault.
Have you been listening to the show?
Loyal to Grinch, and he has been loyal to Moss to a fault.
Mike, I think it's a false equivalency you're trying to do right now. I think the issue with the Grinch thing, clearly, yeah. If you've been listening, I think LB and I have said we've
not
said
the quarterback.
We've said about 5 times. We've said that if it was the right move, he's shown he does it in the past. Everyone wants it to go to Jaden because we hate Miller. He's a statue, etc. Blah blah blah. You guys keep saying all the same stuff, and I keep saying to you, Riley wants to win. You think because he's loyal to Miller? I'm sorry, Mike. If you have anything else, because I'm not touching that one again. I've already explained it. I don't want to do it again. Anything else?
You don't think Mayava deserves a role? You don't think Mayava deserves a shot to play?
I don't think he deserves a shot to play unless he puts the team in a better position to win than Miller and Moss. And the head coach, Lincoln Riley, who has a very good experience with the quarterbacks, is saying that it's not the time for Jaden. You got me?
Wow.
All right. Have a great night, Mike. Mike, how many practices have you watched? Mike?
Not enough, and they're closed now.
No. Mike, you haven't watched a single one, man. You have no idea what Jaden's doing if he's ready. Correct?
We'll never know. We'll never know because he's never going to get on the field anyway, so it doesn't matter.
All right, Mike. Great call. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. We're talking in circles again. That's just, I'm not going to either. I mean, that level of anger, I get it. I can sit up here and make everyone happy like some people do and go, yeah. But the fact of the matter is that's not really a logical argument. Go ahead.
Tim, listen, Tim. This is the passion, Tim. You got to love it. This is the passion. Fight on. This is what it is. Everybody's upset. Everybody's angry. Everybody's mad. Listen, to everybody's point, you're valid. Everybody is valid in how you feel. Trust me, you are. Because listen, this is USC. Listen, this is USC. We should not have the record that we have. This shouldn't be this way at all. But I'm going to say this for the last time. Me and Tim have been stressing this.
Okay.
You got to trust this guy. This guy's resume speaks for itself as far as quarterbacks. Do you really think that if Mayava was better, he would not put him in? Do you really think that this guy is that stubborn? If he knows, this is his legacy on the line too, guys. If Mayava is better, he's just going to say, I'm not playing him because I'm loyal to Miller. This is bigger than football. This is just us being smart here.
It's just nonsensical, really. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to pretend like it's a good call. Be mad at me. I think you give me some great points. You're very emotional right now, but you keep going back at the same thing, you guys. And we've been talking about the whole night. It's nonsensical. You think now, listen, could he be wrong? Yes, he could be wrong. But don't come here and say to me, and you know what? Mayava might get on that field and tear it up. And I'd be so happy for him. Right. And he could be wrong, but don't come here and say he's only doing it because he's playing favorites. That's the part that gets my back up. If you want to call and say, I know he's done really good with quarterbacks, but I think he's making the wrong call here. I think that, he should, he got to give Jaden a shot here, but then we'll have the conversation. But don't call in and say, well, he's doing it because he's playing favorites. That's what gets me just like where I am, because I've had to explain this, like what, LB, how many times? Like 6 times tonight? At least?
Valid point.
All right. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Kevin. I'm calling from Central California.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for calling in. Please don't ask me about Jaden Mayava.
Hey,
go ahead.
No, I think everyone just needs to. I understand there's all I'm worried about, and I wanted to see what y'all thought about. I'm worried about the recruits. Like, Lewis is going to Colorado supposedly to take a visit next week, and just a couple other players on the fences. Do y'all think these losses? I'm just worried about the recruits for next year. Like, I agree we're close. We're not getting blown out, but I'm just super worried about these top recruits that were super excited after the LSU win. You know, they were tweeting out, and now since then, a couple of them, top ones, have took another visit. So I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that.
Go ahead, LV.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. That's the biggest thing here, right? That's the biggest concern out of all of this. I think he can definitely bounce back as a coach. You know, he gets certain guys in here maybe in the transfer portal, but the recruits is the biggest concern because you got to show guys that we're still going in the right direction. But I will say this to help you possibly feel better. In today's time, recruits don't really care about that, man. They want to know someplace they can come and play and where they're going to get paid at. And so that's the saving grace in this is that USC's record and how well they've been playing, how bad they've been playing in certain aspects, but they're still close as far as the wins and losses go. Still losses. But guys were watching saying, hey, man, look, this could be an opportunity where I can go in and start. I can go in and play. And I don't have to wait or sit 4 years, my redshirt year or whatever, and I can't make it to the league. I can play 3 years and go straight. So that can be something that they can sell. And once again, man, it's still SC at the end of the day, right? So it's sunny, it's beautiful, the weather's great, NIL is great. So this could still be an opportunity for a lot of top recruits. That's something to pay attention to also.
And that's really what I talked about, and the second time I talked about tonight, but really these kids just want to play and they want to win and they want to play early. And so what you have is you have an opportunity to say, come in and play early. You know, obviously, we need to fill some positions. They just need to show they're capable and that the kid and the parents and the family feel like their kid's going to go to a program where they're going to be developed to go to the NFL. Or not every kid's going to go to the NFL. So then the next category is what's the education like, and what's the environment like at this place, and are we going to win? And so in both situations, even though USC's losing this year, if you convey that trust that if you can come here, become the best version of yourself, and with you here on the team, we're going to win. That's a pitch as old as time. You know, it resonates with a lot of kids. A lot of kids just want to go to Georgia. They're sitting behind 8 guys because they've always wanted to go to Georgia, etc. Some guys want to go anywhere where they're going to pay them the top dollar. It's like the video game. You guys are, remember playing college football. You know, it's just like each kid has a different pitch. That's how it is in life. People want different things, and so if you resonate with that kid, and one of them could be just simply, I want the development. I think the coaching is here for the development. I do still think that, the winning part of it though, and the culture part, there have to be questions, LV. There are, if we're losing to Alabama, if we're losing to even Georgia, if we're losing to Georgia and like Ohio State and Oregon all week long, then it's okay, but we're losing to programs we should not be losing to, regardless of the situation on either side of the ball. I hope that helps, Kevin.
Yeah, that helps. And sorry about that if y'all talked about it. Didn't mean to make you repeat it. I must have just missed it. So thank you for it.
Don't apologize, man. Don't apologize. Anything else for us?
All right. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Man. You guys are doing great. Keep fight on, man.
Fight on, Kevin. Thank you for the call.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Hey, I'm allowed to have passion too, LV. Just because I jumped all over that guy, was it Mike? Doesn't mean I hate Mike. I love Mike. Mike's a Trojan. We should, at one point, maybe Mike will forgive me and he'll come talk to me again. But yeah, sorry, Mike. That was like the 10th time I had to explain that. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it goes, caller, can you hang on 1 second? I'm again, Derek with my duties as always. We have some super chats to get to. Coming from one special guy, a Hawkeye. Challenging season for the Trojan fans, but this podcast is a winner. Thank you, Lomancy. Lomancy's a big Iowa fan. Good job, man. Appreciate you being a supporter of the show and the channel and all of Mark's channels here at the Voice College Football. Lomansky's a top guy. Appreciate you. Look, I think that USC is not where we want to be. I think this coaching staff is a winning coaching staff. Come and debate me all you want. They just need to get it figured out. Period. That's the end of it. They need players to make plays, and they need to get these kids ready to play. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Caller. Call, you there? You've been on hold for 14 minutes. I want to give you a chance here. You there, caller? Going once, going twice. All right, give us a call back. Sorry about that. I tried to give you a chance here. Yeah, sometimes people they call in and they might be falling asleep. Who knows? It's getting late. Hey, caller. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Mike from Louisiana, and appreciate taking my call. Enjoy the show, guys.
Appreciate you calling in.
I had a couple things that. Yeah, thanks. A couple things I just wanted to mention today, and I thought that situationally we had issues, obviously, and I mean, other folks have talked about the rushing the ball in the first half. I thought in the second half we had a couple situational issues where we passed and we should have run, and I'll go to 2 points really. We had the ball up 21-20. We got the ball at, I want to say, around the 40-yard line. We rushed it for 5 yards with Woody on first down. And then on second down, we threw the ball. And up until that point, the past 2 drives, we had kind of crammed it down the throat, running the ball. And we're quick to go away from that run there. And I feel like what's happening is, and I could be wrong here, but I feel like this is playing into tendencies, and teams are daring us to run the ball. We run it for 5 yards, and we're throwing it on second down, and nothing's open. We get an incomplete pass, and then on third down, we throw the interception. So, and we just run it 2 more times there, we probably get a first down. We had so much success running. It was the first time we didn't have like a 10-yard run, and we got 5 instead. And then the next drive, we get it again. We run it down the throat all the way down to the 5-yard line. And on first down, we run it, I think we got 1.5, 2 yards down to the 3, and we throw it on second down. And the other folks have mentioned that tonight too. I know I'm not the only one saying that. And then on third down, we bring in the heavy package. We run it as another 1.5, 2 yards down to the 1. And we come out of that heavy package and start spreading the field a bit. And Washington's still inside, packed. I would like to have seen us just go to that heavy package a third straight time, stay in tight. We got positive yards. We'd only needed 1 more yard. And I think someone said earlier tonight, if we just run it 4 straight times, we got positive yards on all but that last one. And something else I noticed on that last run where the guy shot the gap and he was unblocked. But
yeah,
we had issues with this last year too. We're running the play clock down to 0 right before we snap that, and it allows the defender to time that snap and shoot that gap more easily.
Yeah, I think you nailed all those points. It'd
Great
be
call,
nice.
great call,
It just
great
seems
call.
like it takes a long time to get the call in. Do you know what I mean? And then for Miller to get the call out to everyone.
Yeah.
And like you said, the clock's running down, and they're just taking off on the play clock, because either they're gonna get the jump, or it's gonna be a delay of game. So why not jump on that if you have the opportunity when the clock's going out? It happens way too much. I'm trying to remember, because we had to come live. Actually, I think we were live actually at that point. It looked like so it was a safety, right? Was that a safety up in the there? Like he shot the A gap, wasn't that where he went? Or was it B gap?
Looked like a safety or a small linebacker.
Yeah, small linebacker or safety. He was up there, and it just looked like the lineman just didn't block. I think it was because Monheim was right there. So I mean, it just looked like a missed call by the blocking protection, and either Miller or Jonah, they have to see that guy was unaccounted for. They should have known that guy was unaccounted for right in front of them. That's the head scratcher. But how do we know? I mean, I shouldn't do that, because maybe Miller and Jonah called out that protection and the guard blew it. I mean, you don't know. That's what we try to put blame on people, and we don't know where the blame is, because we don't know what was supposed to be done. But it was,
and I think even going back to the first. Sorry, good.
Well, I'm just saying, run the damn ball 4 times. Someone early on said that. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, and I thought the same thing in the first half. And the drive where we kicked the field goal. Well, I think we threw an incompletion on second down, or maybe we threw an incompletion on first down, ran on second down. I think we had it 3rd and 4, and we're in the extent of field goal range. We're getting rain. Our kickers, he's made some long kicks, but it's not been a gimme, from 50 yards for sure. And just run the ball twice there and pick up 4 yards. We're in 4 down territory, but instead we throw it on third down, and then we're left kicking a 50-yard field goal in a late rain, and we're short. And I just, it worked out on the drive where we threw the 4th down touchdown pass, but I felt like on that one, the same sort of thing. We were running the ball okay, and we set ourselves up for a fourth down that we're going to go for, but we didn't really run the ball. But anyways, I think we got some of that corrected in the second half by running, but just in key situations, we go away from the run, and I think it's almost predictable. I think it's our tendency. If we don't get, an 8-10 yard run on first down, we have a tendency to go right back to the pass, even after a 5-yard run. And I think it plays into our tendencies. And I think we mentioned earlier tonight about the drives. I looked it up later. 10 of the 11 drives were in plus territory for the game.
Yeah, the first
and the
8.
only one that
Wow.
wasn't was the interception at the 45-yard line. Remember the interception he threw when we had the ball up 21-20? I just mentioned that drive. That was the only one we didn't get into plus territory, and we were at the 45.
A big word,
and we only scored 21 points.
A big word that I've heard a lot. It was also I was on with Coach Rowe over the other day, and he said when it came to Pete Carroll, one of their big mantras or themes or whatever it was finish.
Finish. I was about to say
finish
that.
drives,
yeah,
and you finish drives, and you finish games. You finish the half, and you finish drives, and you finish the game.
Tim, if you see a lot of old pictures of like Brian Cushing, those guys, they had those T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
It said finish on it.
Yeah, Coach Rowe was talking about that. He said as a freshman he couldn't. Anyway, yeah. So you. What's the other thing? Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. No, I'm just kidding. No, you win close games. Do you know what I mean? You got to win close games. That's how you really judge your coaching staff. Is you're in a dogfight. You're on the road. Are you going to win? And winning on the road, we're not saying that winning on the road is easy. It's not. But all of them, at some point you're like,
right.
All of them?
Yeah.
And kind of like almost the same way. And we kind of start the same way. I mean, how many games this year in the first couple of drives we've missed a field goal? I mean, that just seems like it's a thing we do. And when you're on the road and listen, you made a good point. It's in the rain, it's a long field goal, etc. But it just seems like this team doesn't finish. And they are so close. And like many callers have said, there's no reason to throw the baby without the bathwater. This team is close to being very successful. But what is it going to take to get there? Because I know you fans are tired of it. I'm tired of it, of hearing that we're so close. Because at some point, you got to get home. You got to finish. And that's what's missing on this team. Listen, Mike, great call. Really, really appreciate you calling in. We got to move on, but
Mike, great call, Mike. Great call.
Great points, man.
Yeah,
really
thanks,
great
guys.
points. Thanks, man. Fight on. All right, we got we're over 2 hours right now. We got 4 calls in the queue. I think we're gonna take those 4, and then we're gonna wrap it up. LV is like, what is it like? Is it Monday yet for you? Just kidding. Sorry, man.
You mean is it election day? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, right. This has only been a 2-hour show. It feels like it's been 10. So if I look like I'm testy, I am. It's because listen, I love this team as much as you guys, and have to come up here and defend it sometimes is a pretty heavy. And I'm not going to be someone's going to roll over though and let people crap all over people. I'm not going to do that. And I try to keep it real and try to be honest on my opinions. We can be angry, but we can also be accurate. So appreciate everyone calling in tonight. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Brian calling from Oklahoma. I ain't on no OU trolling stuff, man. Listen, I just want to say a couple of things. I am a Lincoln Riley fan. I'm not like how OU fans were where they hated him. I'm going to just piggyback on, I think, the 6th caller that just called before all the calls went down. Biggest thing with him, he's just, if he doesn't have a world's beater quarterback, and this is just my opinion, look at Baker Mayfield. I feel like when Baker Mayfield came to OU, it didn't matter what OC would have coached him. He would have did what he did that year and so forth. He would have won Heisman, just like Kyler. I just look at how each year Ed Norman, recruiting digress, he got handed a very easy play. Like somebody said, look at his resume. Look what happened to us in the Georgia game. We should have beat Georgia the year we beat them when we went into overtime. It should never even been overtime. We were up 14 points that game against a very good SEC defense. We were Big 12 at the time. And then you go into the next year and you blow it against Alabama, Kyler Murray's year. That team right there, any coach would have just died to have that type of team, that type of offensive line. That offensive line went to the NFL draft, and he still couldn't get it done with premier offensive players, Hollywood Brown, CeeDee Lamb. And not sitting up here saying USC don't have that. I believe y'all have some great offensive weapons, but I'm just be real. He's not a head coach. And I'm not sitting up here saying my head coach is just far off out the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting up here saying he's just the world's beater, but what I'm saying is what my head coach walked into, Brent is who I'm talking about, versus what Lincoln walked into. Brent walked into a university where recruiting went down. How many offensive linemen have, you know what I'm saying? We ain't had good offensive linemen since he was there. We're all a bunch of transfer portal players. You look at you can go as far as defense. You know what I'm saying? He just never really wanted to just go out and put that time in and recruit. I don't know if it's a niche for him, like he has that NFL mindset. I want players to be able to play right now.
Well,
and that's the phase that I think is happening. People are just now starting to see that if he doesn't have that Caleb Williams saved y'all a lot last year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everybody wants to sit up here and say that they were this type of offense. Caleb Williams could have went to Washington. He could have went to UTEP. He could have went to Tulane and would have did exactly what he did under Lincoln Riley with another OC. What I'm saying is,
I mean that's right. You're correct. You're correct. He's, Caleb was a superstar. All those other guys were superstars.
Like he's been there for 3 years.
Hold on, Brian. Hold on. Go ahead, LB.
No. What I'm saying is that he's absolutely right. Cole's right. He's had superstars at quarterback. So, what I'm seeing is what basically the caller's saying is he's saying that this is taking on the same type of pattern that happened at OU, right? To where
here's what I'm gonna say though. This is where it's different. He walked into, and I'm sure you know this, Brian. He walked into a horrible situation here at USC. Yes, at Oklahoma it was different. I get that. But also those quarterbacks that have come, and Caleb Williams is reason number one. They want to play for Riley. Earlier in the show, I don't know if you missed it, but you know what? You had Malachi Nelson got hurt, and then Lagway. I think we got outbid, and he went to Napier in Florida. I mean, and he missed out on those quarterbacks, right? But most year in and year out, Riley is going to get that guy. He just is, and those guys want to come play for Riley. That's a big draw. Is that it's Lincoln Riley? Hold on, bud. Let me finish here. You did a great call. Let's not interrupt. I listened to you for a while. In that game, you talk about the Georgia game. I remember it was like a late interception. I mean, Lincoln Riley didn't throw that interception. Yes, there were great quarterbacks. Even great quarterbacks make mistakes. And we're going to blame Riley for that loss because the quarterback threw an interception. I mean, I don't know. You can, I guess, if you want. But I mean, it comes down to players executing as well. He had you guys in that game, and you guys, it was overtime, right? Against Georgia. So I also beat him. But you talked about the recruiting. You also said recruiting. The offensive line wasn't recruiting. Well, you guys still have the same coach. The offensive line coach is Beatenbow, right? Or Beatenbaugh, whatever his name is, right? He's the one recruiting. Head coaches only go out to a certain amount of, they can only go out and visit so many times. They can't just go out infinitely and go and recruit and stuff like that.
Yeah, Tim, Tim, you're right.
Being conflated.
The head coach usually comes in and seals the deal, like with the recruiting. He usually comes in and seals the deal. Once those guys go out.
At the end of the day, yes, the O-line coach, just like the running back coach. And I'm going to let y'all go because I know y'all got a lot of callers. All I'm saying is, just like when Brent first came in, Bill Beatenbow, let's be real. This is his first year where you're seeing what's happening to us. I feel like this would happen to us if we was in the Big 12. We'll get our tails whooped right now because for the first year, we don't have a transfer portal tackle like we did last year, where we went and got 3 or 2. And we had some busts this year. We thought we could have a right guard from North Texas come in and be ready to play in the SEC. We thought we could go out and get, just because somebody played for Washington. I just feel like with us this year, personally, with the line, it was just bad observations when it came to recruiting. I'm the guy that I don't care about what you did all season. I care about what you did in conference play. In conference, what did you do? Not against Chattanooga, not against and that's the things that people got to look at. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just be real. I just don't see him developing players. He has to have like the Jordan Addison. We didn't have a Jordan Addison when Brent came to OU. Y'all had a Jordan Addison. Y'all had
he brought him in. No, Riley brought him in. We didn't have Jordan Addison. He brought him in. Yeah. Well, I mean, Brent could have Brent could have brought in a Jordan Addison. Go ahead.
You had made a statement saying that Riley came into a bad situation. I wouldn't agree with that. Riley came into the situation where he went in the transfer portal because
you didn't know our roster then, man. If you think that your roster was worse off than what Lincoln Riley walked into, you're way off.
Yeah, it was.
But y'all were y'all won the Heisman.
Yeah, but
y'all
his
12-win team. Y'all was a 12-win team.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. You're making valid points, man. You're a great caller. I just want to say that. Listen, this was a dumpster fire that he walked into. This was a really, really, really bad. We had nobody. Lincoln brought in all those guys. He brought in Caleb. He brought in Addison. He brought in Tim. Who's the running back from Oregon?
Travis
Dye. He brought in a lot of good players, man, from a lot of good schools. He had to clean up everything. It was we had guys that were unplayable, man. It was a really bad roster. That was all him that did that. He brought in all those guys, and that's what really helped us. And Caleb, of course, played out of his mind. The only thing that we had that was left over was a good offensive line. We had a lot of studs on that offensive line, and that's what helped us get us to 12 wins and win that Heisman. But we're not getting to 12 wins without Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison and Travis Dye. That's not happening.
Yeah. Listen, great call. We do have other callers. And listen, I appreciate you coming in here talking sense, not talking mess. It was a great call, but I absolutely have to move on.
I love Lincoln Riley, man. I love the roster y'all have, man. I just don't think he's the guy, man. I just think he's either going to be like a Dan Mullen, going to try to find an OC job somewhere because he's just not a head coach. He's got to have somebody on his back telling him, hey, man, like Nick Saban used to tell Lane Kiffin, man, hey, man, if you got to run this ball for six minutes and take off the clock and you kill the whole quarter and we don't have no touchdowns, but we win this game and we're dominant up front, then that's what you got to do. But you're going to live and die by the past, man, and that's what's happening to y'all.
I appreciate it. All right, thanks for the call. Thank you. We like hearing outside points. And listen, you didn't come in as talking trash. You came in and you actually made your points. Appreciate that. Great call. Don't actually agree with most of it, but I agree with a lot of it. And I appreciate the way you went about it very much. I do. LB, I love when we get calls from especially Oklahoma. Because listen, I'm not gonna just ignore it and go ad hominem. I mean, it's not always the fact that. But as a matter of fact, a lot of the Oklahoma fans that we do get calling in aren't like the ones on the internet. They're usually like him, intelligent, knowledgeable, knows what he's talking about, has an opinion, and shares it. So I mean, I love those calls. But
he made a lot of great points.
Yeah. The good news is, Brian, we're gonna find out. It might take 3 or 4 years because folks, he ain't going anywhere. So he's gonna be a head coach for at least 3, 4, 5 years. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, name's Daniel. I'm calling from Silverdale, Washington. Longtime Trojan. And Lincoln Riley is not the problem. Like, look at Texas before Steve Carton. They were a bad team. It took him like 3 or 4 years to get to where they are now. Look at Jim Harbaugh when he got to Michigan. It took him like 9 years to finally beat Penn State and Ohio State and to win the Big Ten. Lincoln Riley was given a dumpster fire. Give him like 1 more year, 2 more years, and we will be saying that Lincoln Riley is one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Okay. So all those points are solid. And Joel Klatt, I wouldn't say he's a guy that loves USC. I think he's really one more of the more objective guys. But if he's going to lean, he's going to lean a little bit towards the Colorado. And listen, when you beat your team 17 times in a row, you're not going to have a lot of fun stuff to say about him. But he does keep it real. I think he's objective. And he said, look, what was it again? You have to lose big before you lose little. I'm paraphrasing. You have to win little before you can win big. And then you win big, right? And what is USC doing? Last year was a mess. We are losing these games to teams. We're losing to teams we shouldn't be losing to. We can't throw the roster excuse out there because these are programs that don't have better rosters than USC. But it's getting sorted out. And remember, a lot of things people don't understand is you could be the better team and lose often and should lose. And you know why? Because it's about matchups. It's about matchups. And believe me, I'm not making excuses. But when Jed Fish walked in, they asked him about the weather, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm very happy about it." He sure as hell is, because it played exactly into the way he wanted to play the game. And you wanted it to be messy. You didn't want USC's athletes, because USC did have the better athletes. I bet you line up the rosters, we had the better roster. But they're at home, and then they took it to us. And SC started out slow as always, and USC tried to catch up at the end, and they ran out of time again. Sounds like a familiar recipe for USC on the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and Big Ten, like, don't get me wrong. I think the Big Ten is a very good conference. However, this is a unusual college football year. Who would have had Indiana being undefeated this time of the year? Who would have had Florida State with one win this time of the year? But people need to get past that USC is of the 2003, 2004, 2005 team. We are not that team. Pete Carroll was 20 years ago. That was a completely different era of college football. They didn't have NIL like they do. They didn't have the transfer portal like we do right now. Every player is great, and the talent is spread so wide that there is no true dominant team, which is why this last year when the Pac-12 had, 4 or 5 really powerful teams, USC just fell short against Oregon, fell short against Washington, fell short against UCLA. Teams are good.
Yeah.
And this is our first year in the Big Ten, and we went to Michigan in a 100,010 stadium and lost by 3. We took the second best team in the Big Ten at, Penn State into overtime to lost by a field goal. Like, we are right there. Trust the process. Lincoln Riley is the coach that we need. Dan is the coach that we should keep on roster. And again, like Joe Klatt said, this is USC's probably worst year that we're going to have in a long time.
Well, I hope it's not worse than last year, but but I'll say this. I will say this. One, but Penn State guy, you are a great contributor here. He said that they beat PSU and OSU in the same year. Not that it was the first time they beat him in his first year, right? He was saying that it took him a while to beat both those teams. Correct? That was your point, Brian, right? I mean, not Brian. Sorry, what's your name?
Yeah. Daniel.
Daniel. Yeah, he was saying both of them. So not just one. It was the both combination. Anything, LV? You got anything for me?
Listen. Everybody in the chat, once again, this is another 5-star call tonight, man. Daniel's. Listen, we're about to leave, about to get off. Let's lift up the spirits. Daniel just did that. Let's lift up the spirits. Let's feel better about how things are with Lincoln Riley. We are close. The guy, Joe Klatt, is saying it. We are close. Daniel, thank you for that boost. We needed that.
Right on,
Great
Daniel.
call, man.
Great call. It's a good point. Thanks,
Fight
Daniel.
on, team. Let's go.
Oh, shoot. I cut him off. I'm so sorry, Daniel. Make sure you call back in so you can give me that final message there. Okay, we got 2 more calls, and that's it. We've done our duty. You guys, I said that. I did say a little while ago that we were done taking calls. So, I mean, maybe I'll let LV go if he needs to go. We got 3 people in the queue right now, but I'll hang out for you guys, and I'll give LV the choice to tap out because he's 3 hours ahead of me.
No, I'm good, Tim. Listen, I got to get all this out there.
I know. See, I know this is good therapy for me as well. I know
it's therapy right here, man.
Otherwise, my family's got to hear it. They don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want to hear it. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is James in Vegas.
Hi, James.
Yeah, so I just want to say, first of all, I'm so sick of hearing about USC not being able to compete in the Big Ten. My whole life, we've been spanking Big Ten teams in the Rose Bowl, Penn State, Michigan. So when we're right, the talent is going to be there. But with that being said, I've never been a fan of the Texas Tech, the Mike Leach, the RPO, Big 12 offense. Like, just from an optics perspective, do you guys enjoy watching this where every single play is shotgun? Every single play is RPO? I mean, what are we going to do when we're in Penn State in November and it's 4th and 1? Like, is everything just going to be shotgun for the next 6 years?
Yeah, LV, you want to hit that? Oh, I mean, so go ahead, and I'll cover. I get what you're saying though.
Like, don't you miss seeing Matt Leinart under center with Lindell White behind him?
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
Let me hop in then. No, because you got to remember, the game evolves. You know what I mean? Look at the NFL even. I mean, before it was like, well, yeah, the NFL. How many NFL are going under center and stuff like that? You know what I mean? It's like the game is changing in college football, definitely. I can't speak as much to pro football. Stopped watching that in '94, really, pretty much when my Rams left me. But I mean, I'm going to tell you right now that, well, good. I'll put it this way: USC needs to have the best offense out there. Whether it is Norm Chow's offense, whether it's Steve Sarkisian or Kiffin's offense, or if it's Lincoln Riley's. Lincoln Riley's offense does work. We've seen it. We all watched 2022 and we go, oh, that was with Caleb Williams. That could have worked. That with that offensive line. I'm being dead serious, James and LV. I want to ask you guys this question. If we had the 2022, and I know it's ifs and buts, right? But if we had the 2022 line, what do you think our record is right now? Neither of you guys. So is this Lincoln Riley's offense, or is it a personnel issue, which again falls on the head coach? But I'm saying, is it the offense, or is it the fact that our offensive line can't get it together?
Also,
I'm being dead serious. I'm not being a smartass.
No, listen. I totally agree with you. I mean, that's valid. Also, too,
there's a time in the game where you have to take the will of the other team. Where, I mean, looking at our offensive line, they're freaking massive. I mean, those 300-pound guys.
But what about the pass blocking? I get the run blocking. Massive is great, but when run blocking, if you can't move and if you can't pick up the guy and you don't know what your assignment is, and you're blowing assignments and line calls or whatever, and someone doesn't know what they're doing, that's when the problems are happening. I don't think it's a physical thing with this offensive line. I think it's a mental thing, and part of it is because they're young. You know what I mean? Some of them.
Here's the thing, right? The whole RPO and all that, everyone's running that, man. Everybody's running it. Everybody's running it. From look what they're doing to Alabama. Remember how Alabama was, right? What did Saban do? He went and hired Sark because he needed an explosive offense. Then from that, what did he do? He hired Lane Kiffin. Listen, because he understood he's got to spread it out. So that's basically what the RPO is. It's of course it's all like Mike Leach and Texas Tech, like you stated. But it's different forms of that. It's not the same, run and shoot like how they used to. It's way different forms of it. And everybody's doing it. Look, they're doing it in Oregon. They're doing it up there in Ohio State. All the top teams are running that. So, I mean, that's the offense. And you got to have, listen, in every quarterback, not in every offense that's top tier like that, you got to have a top quarterback running that. And so, I don't want to say the guy behind the center is not a top guy. I don't want to get into that but that's what it takes for that offense to run. And Lincoln Riley, when he has a top dog back there calling plays, he has proven that he has the top 5 offense in college football, not just in this, in the conference, in college football.
Year in, year out.
Year in, year out. So, and once again, this is what everyone is running. You, like Tim said, you got to change the times, or if not, you're going to get left. And the best coach in the last 30, 40 years, Nick Saban, identified that. And that's why he brought in Sark and brought in Lane Kiffin, because he had to be able to compete offensively across the nation.
And I'm going to have to eat a lot of crow because Mark Rogers is going to catch up to me at some point, because I was talking about, what is it? Is it the Big Ten defenses or the Pac-12 offenses? Something's got to give. Now, what I didn't realize, I didn't know that USC's offense was going to be offensive lines would be so terrible. But I can still point to Oregon. God, that hurts me to say. Oh God, that hurts me to say. But they are taking care of Big Ten defenses. So healthy Pac-12 offenses where you have a complete offense. USC is an incomplete offense until they prove otherwise. But the complete offenses, which really of the 4, only Oregon is at this point, is having their way with the defenses. So I guess maybe my point is maybe undetermined, but it's not looking good from the other 3 right now.
Yeah, like what Oregon did in Michigan today, that's exactly what we should have did. I mean, we should have beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Michigan was running a high school offense. That was embarrassing.
Well, in the first half, again, so if you watch it, in the first half, they came out. See, no one saw what the package they're going to do with Orgy. They're coming out with, and they're running it, and they were effective with it. But as soon as you gave Danton Lynn one half, he shut that shit down.
Right.
I mean, completely shut it. They didn't get a first down until the last drive of the second half. And really, they scored on a bust. If two guys, if either one of the two guys make a tackle, we're talking about USC has a win there. I mean, that's I'm not making excuses. Those are facts. So, I mean, USC, USC faced a different Michigan team. Also, they were that Will Johnson. Who else are they missing today? They also, that Michigan team was not a full team. But going back to my point, a healthy Oregon offense that was purring showed what Pac-12 teams should do to good Big Ten defenses. I'm still sticking with that, but USC, you're not helping me out by the offense you guys are running right now.
Right. Yeah, I would just love to see versatility. Like you mentioned the NFL, if you watch Sean McVay play calls, I mean, it's unbelievable. He could go RPO, he could go Stafford under center, play action. If it's 4th and inches, pull back, get the yard. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to watch. But one more thing, the reason I would sit Miller Moss, I know you guys are sick of that question. This year is a wrap. Miller Moss is not a freshman or sophomore who's going to be there next year. So this year is done. I'm looking at next year. Who is this Juju kid going to be a freshman starter, or is Jaden going to be our starter next year?
Listen, if Juju comes and he commits, he's starting next year. There's
and a couple
no
more
way.
things, you guys. If any of you guys know who our starting quarterback in 2025 is going to be, please let me know, because this thing can turn so many different directions. Miller might go to the NFL. Miller might be back next year. Jaden and Miller might not stay. One or the other might transfer out. DJ Lagway, we're just joking around. I was joking around earlier in the week saying, because man, Riley really wanted him. If Napier gets fired and he goes on the market, sorry, I don't know. I would be highly shocked if Lincoln Riley is not kicking the tires on that situation as well. Miller Moss turns the page, goes back to the guy he was the first 3 weeks of the season, and all of a sudden he's killing it. We don't know what's going to happen here at all. This ain't working. This iteration of Miller and this offense isn't working. It's not. He had 3 interceptions. One of them wasn't his fault, but there was also one that was dropped. It was thrown right in the guy's that defense is breadbasket. My only point is we don't know that Jaden's the option and he would be better. If you're just saying just start him because we want to try something new, what if that puts the team in a worse situation when you say, well, because then he gets development, playing time, and ready for next year? What if he's not our quarterback next year? And then also you have other guys on the team that want to get drafted and have opportunities. You got to give them the best opportunity to shine as well. I mean, there's so many choices.
If he
that's
does
just my opinion.
If he does that, Tim, that's basically him kicking the can on the season. I don't see him doing that. I don't see him just giving up on these guys and just saying, okay.
The coach wants to win. The coach,
right? So he's not. So if he,
I'm into next year.
Next year. Well, next year, if he was to get, if Juju's coming, he's starting. There's no way with the NIL money that's coming in, with him being a top tier quarterback, there's no way that he's sitting the bench if that is the case. But what I think is going to happen, if Juju doesn't wind up coming, Lincoln Riley's going to be in the transfer portal. And to Tim's point, if he can get DJ Lagway, if that's the guy, you'll see him in Cardinal and Gold next year.
He's at least going to give it a look. And
right.
I would not rack anything up. I'm not disparaging any of our current quarterbacks. I'm not disparaging Juju Lewis. But if anybody's watched DJ Lagway play as a true freshman, man, I'll tell you what, that Georgia game might have ended differently if Lagway hadn't jacked up his hammy. Right away, he grabbed that hammy when he's done. I didn't know how bad it was. And by the way, for the guy saying he's not getting Lagway, I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that, but to say he's not is about as ignorant as me saying he is definitely getting him. We don't know if he would get him.
Right.
Now, by the way, USC was a close runner up to Florida. Like he really had. Lincoln Riley would not have gone all in on Lagway like he did if there wasn't some serious interest from Lagway. So to sit there, maybe you're just trolling. Shouldn't waste my time with you, but to say he's not coming to USC just seems like you're I don't know, hating, and which I don't have time for.
I just want to make a quick point. I think what a lot of people have to understand, guys, they want to go to the NFL, man. They look at his pedigree and what he's done. How many number one picks has he had at quarterback? All these kids, that's where they want to go. So they're going to go to the guy that can get them there. That's just what I'm talking about, top quarterbacks. So, I mean, you can never say never, man. And listen, they're not doing too good in Florida. Napier leaves. If there's an opening in USC and this kid feels, hey, listen, man, I wanted USC in the first place anyway. It didn't work out. There's an opening there. They didn't get the recruit that they wanted. I know I can go see Lincoln Riley. I know I can give me a nice NIL bag, and I can get ready for the NFL the same way he did Caleb. Caleb was the number one pick. That could be me. I mean, these are the things that goes through these kids' heads. Playing quarterback, and all of them want to play for Lincoln Riley. I know you guys don't like him, but that's just a fact.
And then to Vegas Sports, I mean, what kind of odds you give me? You give me 60-1? Because I'm not saying it's you know what I mean? I'm just simply saying to you, I can't guarantee you he's coming, but also it's just silly to say you're guaranteeing he's not. How would he come here? You're right. If he sees the offensive line like it is right now, yeah, probably not. He's not going to even think about coming here. But his offensive line still has games to show they can get together, and a great opportunity against Notre Dame. We're running out, and maybe a bowl game. They're running out of time. But if this team can show that this young line in certain positions, right, it shows promise, then I think Lagway takes a look at USC. He was definitely interested before. Why wouldn't he be interested now? That's all I'm saying. And if USC could get Lagway, I'll come out and say it. That's the dude. I mean, that guy, I'm sorry, I'm not disparaging anybody, but that kid has a lot of talent. And I think that you could really see some wins racking up with him as the quarterback, because he's just an amazing athlete, man, and he's got a great arm. He showed that off today. I didn't know he could spin it like that. Yeah, I had no idea until I watched that game.
I mean, Tim, he's the prototypical Lincoln Riley quarterback. 6'3", can run, can throw it. I mean, he's everything.
He would kill it. Well, listen, James, I think we've chased away the other callers because I've been sitting here for a while. But listen, sorry to the other people. Yeah, this person's been waiting 27 minutes. I'm so sorry. But listen, great call. And fight on, man. I hope you do call in again. That was a great call.
Appreciate it, man. It can only get better from here.
No doubt. No doubt. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, it's tough being a Trojan fan sometimes, but I'll tell you, it made those Pete Carroll years just that much sweeter that I had to go through the Hackett years. It was, you're walking through the desert and you finally get just that wonderful, just that big ice cold beer that you've been waiting for. That's what it's gonna be like. And listen, all the people want to bury USC right now, and I know fans don't want to hear it, haters don't want to hear it, but it's not like USC is super far away. They're about 5 or 6 players away from winning a lot of games.
Yeah.
Literally, because these games are not being decided by massive margins. These games are close. I'm not going to say 1 or 2 plays, but anyway, hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Jerry from Pasadena.
Hey, Jerry. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to confine it to tonight's game. Let me just start out by asking straight away, hasn't Mason Murphy earned a timeout here? He was atrocious tonight.
So he had some issues with this noise, but remember, the tackle position is the ones usually going to jump, right? The tight end or the tackle is going to jump in a loud environment. I'm not making excuses for it. He's a college football player. They have ways of getting around it. He's just got to watch the ball. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, that was rough. Did you see him get beat? I mean, I was watching the game live. I haven't rewatched or anything. Was he getting beat a lot or what?
He was the one that whiffed on the 4th and 4 that ended the game, where the guy went right by him and sacked Miller.
Okay, so
the game.
Okay, so it was outside more. I thought it was inside more. Okay.
I thought sir, if you can correct us, I thought that the safety came through the A gap. He didn't come on the edge.
So he went between. So you're saying he came between Noah and Chad? Can you help us out here because we're stuck? I mean, maybe we were watching it live. LV.
I thought he came right around. I thought he came right around 76
He
from
came
the
right-
outside to Miller.
Oh no, he definitely did not come outside
I
of the
didn't see
tackle.
him come.
He
No,
came
no,
up the
no, no.
middle.
He
He came up the middle. That was Jonah Monahan. They had an issue with that.
I didn't see him.
Guys, keep talking. I'm gonna pull it up.
Well, isn't what's his name? Mason Murphy, the right tackle.
He is, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see him come between guard and tackle. I saw him come. I think the guard was Alani, right? Alani Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I thought he came around Mason, but all right, be that as it may, I think Mason is a conspicuous weak link here. And I'm not into firing Henson or all this nonsense about firing Riley and replacing Miller with Mayava. That's all a bunch of nonsense. But it just seems to me that Mason Murphy is a conspicuously weak link. But let me get to the everybody's beat to death that call on second down and goal with that goofy pass to Deuce Robinson, where he was defended by a 6'4" guy. Well, I don't know what that was all about. Give him a 50-50 ball, a jump ball maybe to take advantage of his height, but don't try and throw him a dart in the middle of the back of the end zone when you're running it down their throats. So
that play has been successful.
I just didn't understand.
Yeah, that play has been successful in the past, but the problem is tonight, I didn't see Deuce getting a lot of separation at all, at all, the entire game. There was someone in his back pocket the entire game.
I can't remember the last pass he's caught, to tell you the truth. He's not having a great year. Jacoby Lane's coming to life. Zach Branch is coming to life. Jay Fair once in a while. Even Kyle, he blew that early on. It resulted in an interception, but came back to Kyle and, he did well. But Deuce, I don't know what happened to him. He was much better last year, in my view, than this year.
Again, that play.
My last question.
Well, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I was just going to say. Let's not pigeonhole him on one or two plays. He has. There's been a couple of games where he's shined and he's disappeared. I think in this game, there just wasn't a lot. We have at some point we also have to give a little bit of credit to the Washington secondary because they were on these guys like cheap suits. They were great. But that's even more so. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying on second down, why are we throwing it? Run the ball, run it.
Right. You're going into the strength of that defense, which is pass defense. They got good guys in the secondary. But that brings me to my last point. Look, I hate to cry foul. We should have won this game and not let it come down to this. But am I the only one? You talk about cheap suits. That price sock had multiple suits on Kyron Ware-Hudson on the 3rd and 4. I mean, both arms were around him. I kept stopping it. The ball was in the air. It hadn't reached Hudson. And nobody mentions, and these announcers don't mention it. To me, it was egregious PI. What did you think? Uncalled, of course.
I've almost stopped. I mean, holding is just, again, it's just so capricious. Once in a while, I think they just call it because they feel like hold on. Both these teams together have run the ball 80 times. So I think we're probably going to have to call a holding somewhere in here. Just call one now because they let so much go. And then when they decide to call it, it just seems like it's so random. Pass interference is even more random to me. And on the play that pissed me off is on that one play, it would have been 3rd and 5, right? It would have been 3rd and 5. And you had Greedy Vance get flagged.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about when Greedy Vance got the unsportsmanlike. If you watch, that receiver had a hold of his face mask and he was retaliating, just like in hockey, right? It's not the guy that does it's the guy that retaliates goes to the box. That receiver had Greedy
I agree.
Yeah. But listen, we could argue about.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him foul Greedy, but I did see Greedy rip his hat off big time.
Yeah, he lost his cool because he was
that one. I wasn't. I'm talking about the second to the last play of the game, where it would have been. I think it would have been. I didn't think they had any timeouts left. There was very few seconds left on the clock, but it was 3rd and 4, and Miller went to Kyron Ware-Hudson and Ephesians Prysock was draped all over his back. It wasn't a little tug on the jersey that the referee could have missed or hand fighting. He just completely had his arms around him from behind well before the ball got there. I mean, to me, it was so egregious, and nobody mentions it.
By the way, we were all
you
wrong.
Want to look at it again, Tim?
It's not that, man. That's been the Big Ten officiating all year.
In any event,
rough
season.
Can you hear LV? LV, go ahead.
I said that's been the Big Ten officiating all year. You just gotta take it, man. That's just how it's been. And here's the thing. It's been on both sides. They don't call anything. Like, they don't call holding. Right. They don't call pass interference. They don't call fumbles that should have been a fumble at the goal line.
Yeah, there have been some times SC's flat out holding, and it's not just against SC. A lot of our linemen have adapted to it, and they're doing a good job holding within reason what they can do. Short of tackling some dude, I don't think they call holding. Really, I don't think they call it at all. By the way, we were all wrong.
Rare.
We were all wrong. It was the B gap because they pinch in, and he comes right between Alani Noah, and it was Mason Murphy, but inside Mason Murphy, so it was not the A gap. I just watched it.
Oh, okay.
But there was.
I had it wrong then.
No. You didn't have it wrong. You had it right. But it was Murphy. It was Murphy. It wasn't what.
Well, we don't know. Wait, hold on. Let's not do that. We don't know. We don't know whose man that was to pick up, but it was somebody.
Whoever it was, but we were right. It was those two players in that vicinity.
Well,
I thought it came straight up the middle. I thought it was
to blame Mason for everything. So
let's not do that. Let's definitely do that.
I'm joking. I'm joking, but he did have a horrible game with the false starts. He really did. Many of which weren't even called. The announcers correctly pointed that out.
I mean, yeah,
away with a lot.
I thought, yeah, with that, but I thought the line was exceptional tonight. Outside of that, I thought the line has really made a lot of strides. Miller had a clean pocket all night long. There was a couple of times he was rolling out, and I said, there's no need to roll out. The pocket is there. No need to get away from the play. And that's the whole line. So, outside of false starts, I thought the line was solid tonight.
Yeah,
I agree. They're showing improvement in both run and pass pro. Both.
Yeah, I'm just not comfortable.
So that's good to see.
Let's get off. Let's not spotlight one player because the offensive line has not been one player. It's been a group effort to struggle this year. Outside of Emmanuel Pregnon.
Well,
yeah,
Pregnon and Elijah Page, is it? They're looking good on the left side to me.
Well, I mean, the right side's been the issue for a couple of years now.
A lot of those runs.
The right side of the line has been an issue last couple of years with different casts of characters. But yeah, appreciate the call. Listen, we got to move on.
I'm with. Okay, listen, thanks a lot. You guys do a great job. Appreciate it.
All right. No, thank you. Thank you so much for calling in, Jerry. Really appreciate your call. Fight on, man. It'll get better. It's gonna get better.
Good night.
Good night.
Fight on.
Fight on. Like someone else said, it can't get worse.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
It can't get worse. They can't hurt us more than they have. There's no way. My heart's like this endless pit right now. There's no way it can get. God, LV, tell me it can't get worse. If this shit gets worse, I don't know if I'll survive it.
Man, kidding. Listen, Tim, look, out here it's like 2 a.m, man. So listen, I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm running on E, but this stuff gives me juice and gives me energy, man, because I need to hear from all the callers, everybody, to keep me, like you said, from not.
We got one call left, and this is gonna be a great one. Caller, don't let us down. We're gonna pump you up like we're gonna pump you up like a Star Wars movie, like you can't miss. Let's go. All right, what do you got for us? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
this is old school. I'm calling between Chicago and Milwaukee. But I'm on my way to Bo Harris. So I'm on my way to Milwaukee right now. But I want to say this, young man. I've been watching SC Southern California for a minute now, especially since y'all got your coach you got now. And I was hoping and praying that he'd be doing real good. You have to understand me. But then I knew y'all went to the I think y'all in the Big Ten right now. And I know that's another story, as far as the conference things go. And I saw how y'all played last year, especially when y'all played against my team, CU. And I've seen how y'all handle y'all business and stuff, and I like what y'all were doing in the direction that you're going. This is a question I have for you and the gentleman. Y'all basing y'all whole, to a certain extent, understand me, young man. Y'all putting, just like Lincoln Riley is doing right now, he putting all these marbles in this class is coming up and everything, especially with Juju. I think that's a bad thing because Juju gonna make his decision by December 6th or something like that. During that time, the powers that be out there in Southern California, they're gonna be coming around and making their decisions, and they're not happy with this recruiting class and what Lincoln Riley is doing out there. You guys aren't either because you're questioning the coaching and the coaching standards and how they dealing with these players and stuff like that. So that could be an issue. You understand me? So I really don't see Lincoln being around, like you said, for 3 years, young man. Hey, boy, I'm telling you, we talk about Southern California.
Let me show you. Let me throw you a curveball because I get you. I get what you're saying. Two things. So you said you're a CU fan. Who do you think will be here longer? Do you think Coach Prime or do you think Lincoln Riley? Who will be at their? Because here's what I'm gonna add. Wait, I got to add something for you. Got to give you some information you may not have. SC owes Lincoln Riley between $90 and $70 million. So that's why that's kind of my ace in the hole. And I know Shador's leaving. I know you guys lose a lot this year, right? Who's going to be around longer?
Yeah. Like I said, Coach Pride. But Coach Pride gonna be. I'm gonna tell you something. Listen there, you understand this too. Let me give you this example. This is what it's going to be. Coach Pride gonna be around there until we get a championship. That's gonna be sometime real soon. And not only that, before he go, he's gonna be the athletic director and the head coach out there. Because look here, George Carl is moving up. He's not moving down or moving out. He's moving up. And they got room up there, up in the other level for George Carl out there at CU. Ain't nobody else gonna be taking that athletic job because the basketball coach ain't been there that much longer than Coach Pride. So you get that message, young man. You see how their future is going with them out there. But then you see how your future is going. Let's stick to the program. You see how it's going out there at University of Southern California, USC. You see the big difference? You think Coach Pride will take all 8 of his toes and just walk up from a situation like that? All the money in the world couldn't get it away from them.
I'm gonna.
LB wants to jump in.
I'm gonna have to chime in here.
Yeah, go. You go first. You go for LB. I'll go after you.
There's a school out there that is going to be calling, right? And that school is in Florida, and I believe that's his alma mater.
No, he's Florida State. Oh, you mean Florida State?
Yeah, exactly. If Florida State calls and his son is in the NFL, Coach Prime is gone. Coach Prime is not going to stay in Colorado if Florida State calls.
Why not?
If Florida State calls, especially, give me 1 second. If Florida State calls, especially with that recruiting hotbed, he's right down the street from his house where he grew up at. All the recruits in the South, all of them, they won't go to Alabama. They won't go to Georgia. They won't go to Clemson. They'll all be coming down to Tallahassee instead of going all the way out there to Boulder, Colorado, where it's snowing. There's no way if they throw the money that I believe they'll probably throw at him to get him to come back home to Florida State, he's leaving Colorado. That's just a fact. He has no reason to stay at CU. His sons are gone. He's done what he was supposed to do there. He got the name up. Got possibly Heisman Trophy candidates. Travis Hunter is gone. If Florida State calls, Prime is leaving. That's just the point I had to make.
What do you think, sir?
I think as soon as we get Juju, remember how y'all hoping that he gonna bring everybody out there to y'all? As matter of fact, we got Smith already. Remember the 6'6" guy that was out there visiting right next to Juju?
Did Cardi? Did Cardi? Did he flip? Did Cardi Smith flip?
Hey, matter of fact, I think he's well done on that side out there at USC. I think it's about ready for him to flip him over. See how you want to look on the outside. I think that's what it is, young man. I'll tell you something. That smile on my face ain't there for me. You don't see it, but I'm telling you, it's on there.
Well, listen, a question for you though, because this is I'm not being. Yeah. What do you think CU's record would be if they played USC schedule this year? So if you need help, we played LSU. Do you think that CU beats LSU?
No, we ain't ready for that.
What about Penn State?
No. It was a good thing. I'm gonna tell you, it was a good thing we got out of the Pac-12. We were ready for y'all out there with that situation we had last year. This situation we got this year, we get y'all the run work for y'all money if we stayed in the Pac-12.
Maybe
we get it like that. Last year, no. Because we had since our week was out, because black y'all see how y'all dog walked us. And then we almost came back on y'all.
Absolutely. Yeah. But remember that defense.
Yeah.
We have a different defense now. Do you know what I mean? Like that defense was historically bad for USC.
And I'm sorry, your man, I'm not cutting you off, but I want to remind you this too. You know your boy, the freshman that y'all got out there this year, you know he only played a 6 minutes, so he redshirted. You know he coming out there with us. What's his name? That the big guy, the 5-star y'all got. What did he say his name?
Who you talking about? Bear?
Bear. Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, yeah, that's him.
Well,
Bear's
look, man.
Listen.
Bear has been a.
What I was saying.
Oh, hold on. Let LV get in here. Go ahead, LV.
Listen. There's reports. You know, Bear's from Texas, man. The report is that they're looking to go back to the SEC. They're not going to go to Colorado or anything like that. He's looking to go back to the SEC. He kind of wants to get back in those.
And
that's what the reports are.
And Bear left because he couldn't get on the field. He left because of playing time. So, I mean, I think he could have been a huge contributor. I think he has all the talent in the world. And maybe, but here's one thing I'll say. If you can't play for Coach Henney, if Coach Henney can't get you in the right mindset, I mean, maybe there is the right mix out there for him. And he definitely has all the talent in the world. I just question, is he, well, I don't know. So I'm not going to question. But there's a reason why he's not at USC. It's not because he wanted to leave USC. He's not at SC because he couldn't get playing time on our line. And I love our defensive line, but it's not like we couldn't use defensive interior guys. So I mean, again, I don't want to disparage anyone. I don't want to go in that direction. But I'll say this. I'll say if USC played, let's flip it around. If USC played North Dakota State, Nebraska, we'll find out a couple next week. Colorado State, Baylor, UCF, K-State, Arizona, and Cincinnati. Even with what we got going on, we're most likely a defeat, if not maybe one loss. You guys got 2 losses against that schedule. So, I mean, if we're matching up programs, I'm not sure if Coach Prime has eclipsed USC in any way, shape, or form. Because 2 of our losses are to Michigan at Michigan. We beat LSU and we lost to Penn State in a close game in overtime. I don't see Colorado winning any of those games.
Okay, let me ask you this question. What was y'all record last year? 6-6, something like that?
We were 7-5 last year.
7-5.
Okay, yeah, you're right. 7-5. Yeah, that's over 500. I get you. You think you're gonna be there? You think that's what y'all gonna finish off with this year?
I've got no idea who this team is. You know what? If you want me to tell you, I haven't known who this team is all year. I don't know which team's going to show up. I don't know if this team's going to actually play 4 quarters. Because I can tell you, if USC plays 4 quarters, right? That's a big if. I still think that even Notre Dame. Yes, I know I'm going to be called crazy for this, but even Notre Dame better watch out. If USC put it together, I'm not saying we're going to, but they would have to. If USC puts together 4 quarters, there's nobody on our schedule that SC can't beat. Will they? That's the $1 million question.
That's right. Y'all played Notre Dame this year. I want y'all to beat Notre Dame. I really don't want Notre Dame to get that what's the name to go into the playoff. The what's the name playoffs.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
get that bid to go to the Western Playoffs. I'm kind of hoping y'all beat them. I'm pushing for y'all to beat them.
Well, I sure hope we do too, because I mean, a lot of USC fans have forgotten saying this season's over, and I'm not saying, believe me, I am definitely not. I'm not going the Bruin route, right? As long as we beat UCLA, no. But there is still stuff to win. This season is not a throwaway at this point, Trojan fans. I don't care. Playoffs haven't. So people are so focused on the playoffs, and that is the ultimate goal, and that's what USC should be focusing on. But beating UCLA and Notre Dame is always a priority at USC. And some people have forgotten that, and there's still a couple games to go. All right, listen, thank you so much for your call. I hope you call in again. I wish you. I hope Colorado does well. I really do. I wish you guys all luck in the world, man.
I wish you guys all the luck in the world too. But when it comes down to Juju, I wish we well, tell you, I'm praying we get Juju.
I think we both are. And you know what the good news is? The good news is one of us will be happy. So we got a 50-50 chance, both of us. So I think we could go with that. Yeah. All right, sir. Have a great night. Thanks for calling in.
And then the bad news for us is Indiana get them. And then that go bump versus bump. Tell you, y'all got to play against them.
Yeah.
So we got to look at them play.
Signetti's got it going on.
Yeah. I love y'all. I appreciate you, young man. I love y'all show. Y'all keep up the good work, man.
Thank you.
Stuff like I said before. Well helps.
Thank you. Hey, listen, appreciate you calling in. Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
All right, LV, we survived that.
Yeah, we did.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I still got my soul intact. Okay, barely. It's hanging on. Trojans, you guys are gonna have to help me out there, you guys. Another great call, LV. Thank you so much. I called up LV today because I'm a chicken. I didn't think I could handle tonight by myself. I knew Preston was going to be out and she was going to check in, but I know you guys were going to come at me and I needed some backup. And LV, one phone call, he showed up here. I have him up in the middle of the night in New York. Let everybody know where they can find you, LV.
Please just come by, check me out, LV Live on YouTube. Just come check out my channel. Knicks Giants stuff I talk about. So sad about the Yanks. We will be back. We gotta get our revenge against those Dodgers. But salute to those guys out there. Big win for them. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me at, man. So it was great coming on here with Tim. It was great time tonight.
And LV's link to his channel is, as always, in our description, like it is every week. LV, we appreciate being a huge supporter of the channel. Speaking of huge supporters of the channel, Danny Kennedy, thank you so much for the super chat. It may get worse, it might, but it will get better eventually. Absolutely, Danny. At least the Dodgers won. Sorry, LV. Fight the heck on. All right, yes, fight on, Danny. So you guys, SC loses in a very familiar fashion, something that we'll never get used to, but it's becoming familiar, which is unfortunate. And I do mean that, though, LV, and I do mean that, Trojans out there. This team is close in that they need some players in certain positions. I'm never one to disparage any of our Trojans. Anybody that shows up there, walks through Goo Gate and Howard Jones Field, and you're out there in blood, sweat, and tears, I'm never going to say anything negative about our Trojans. But we don't have the horses to win at the level that we're seeing on Saturdays. And USC needs to take that next step forward. The coaching staff has to be accountable. This is a top to bottom issue. It's not a one player thing. It's not a one coach thing, but there is no excuse for some of the losses that are happening at USC. I think I'm obviously not, I think the players and the coaches know that as well, LV. I appreciate everyone here. I do mean, I know you guys have plenty of choices on a Saturday night. Thank you guys. Is there anybody here that's been here the whole time? I'm just totally curious. Has anyone been here for almost 3 hours? Because if you have, please sound off, because I really do want to give you credit before we get out of here, because goodness gracious, I'll tell you what, I would have been at least 4 or 5 beers into my night if I didn't have to do the show. But win or lose, you guys, we're going to be here. Appreciate, again, LV, thank you for being here. Make sure you check out LV Live. Make sure you guys are subscribing, which I'm terrible about doing, but hit that subscribe button, you guys. It's right down here. It costs you nothing. And I will tell you, if you enjoyed tonight, Preston and I are going to be going live sometime for some kind of therapy, because I think this didn't do enough. There's a lot of people just after the game do not tune in. We're gonna have a show for just those guys. So appreciate everyone being here. you guys, we're Trojans, and no matter what, let the haters talk all the hate they want. USC's coming. I still believe this. USC's coming. And you know what? Really, as much as they talk their shit, they know we're coming. And when USC figures out what's going on both sides of the line, which is not an immediate fix, and they're still in the works, we have the coaching staff. We have the skill players. We need some depth. And we're seeing that. I thought it wouldn't happen until November. It started happening pretty early on with all the losses we had early. But when USC has the depth, we can play with anybody in the country. So for LV, for Preston, who came in earlier, I'm Tim. Make sure you check out our socials, Tim_Prangley on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you hit that like button as well. It really helps us out. If you're still here after 3 hours, I don't think anyone's here for 3 hours. Nobody was here for the whole time. Just us. But Danny Kane's been here for 11 months.
That's right.
All right. Fight on, you guys. We'll see you guys Wednesday for sure at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, and we will pop up for some show most likely the next couple of days. Fight on. We'll talk to you guys later.
Fight on, guys.